The way I think everyone should do computer builds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone should have the ability to enjoy their first build. So I'm not going to be touching many of these parts.
Okay.
I'm just going to be checking the work to make sure it's done correctly.
Okay. We can do that.
Where you can have the comfort of avoiding breaking things because you don't know any better, but also still get the full experience of building your machine.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Let me check this. See how we're doing here. Hi. If anybody can see us, hello.
But
I'll be damned. That's legit, buddy. Alright, so we should be live on Facebook and Twitch and probably not YouTube because YouTube is a bitch. Alright. So, Dave. Well, to the audience or anybody that cares, we're going to be trying to build this bitch, and we have Dave Cupp here, aka the Wolfman, and he knows much more than I do, so we're going to give it a shot. Alright, so I think a fun thing to do here would be for me to tell you, like, to guess what I should do.
yeah.
And then you can tell me if that's a good idea or a bad idea. Because I kind of know somewhat from watching that video, but yeah. So let's just have at it here. So here's what I'm thinking. Here's your motherboard, obviously. I hear that this is very staticky and you don't want to fuck it up by doing anything crazy. So just leave it on the cardboard and stuff. I think that the first thing that we normally do, we take it out of here, and then we go chip. We got the chip, we got the RAM, and we got the cooler, and that kind of all just finagles in there.
Yes. So ideally, whenever you do this, the order of which you install those in isn't so much is the relevant part as it is simply building as much of the machine as you can outside of the case before you put it in there, because once it's in the case, now you have limited workspace.
Right.
However, the order you want to do all that is entirely up to you.
Okay. All right. So I can pop this out of here then?
Sure can.
All right. Is there anything that I should be wary of when I do this? Should I set it back on this guy?
Yeah, so using the cardboard or the motherboard box is fine. As long as you have most people build it on the box just because it's level.
Perfect. Awesome.
Acts as a little bit of a buffer to prevent possible static discharge.
Okay. Alright, so what would you do first? Would you do the chip?
So I usually install the CPU first. There's no particular reason for this. It's just the most important part of your computer. I personally feel like the sooner it's done, and I know that it's safely installed, the less likely it is to get damaged.
Gotcha.
So paranoid maybe, but that's how I do it.
Gotcha. Alright, so flip up this guy.
Yes.
Okay. And don't touch the top or the bottom of this. Handle it on the sides.
So the important...
Line it up with that little arrow wherever it is.
Yes. Your arrow on your CPU will line up with the arrow on the motherboard.
I see that little arrow.
And it is correct. Do not touch the top and sides. The top's not so much of a big deal. You just could get finger oils and it could ruin your thermal conductivity. It's the bottom that's the important part. Once you've bent a pin on the CPU, it's incredibly hard to safely fix, and you're playing with fire at that point.
Okay.
So you want to gently put it into the socket. You don't have to push or anything. It should just pop right in. And then once that's in, you put the arm down.
Can you confirm that this is the arrow? That I'm looking for the gold arrow on the chip and that arrow right there? Alright, so let's grab this little gosh. Got our gold arrow here. Got this here. Perfect.
Yep.
Good.
So just give it a little nudge, tap. Yep, looks good to me.
Perfect. We're off and running. A little bit of pressure here. Wow. She's good.
Yep.
Wow. That was easy.
It's kind of like
fun.
playing with extremely expensive adult Legos.
Alright, sweet. Alright, now we're off and running. Would you go cooler next?
Yes, always install the cooler next. So you have the Wraith. I believe this is the Prism cooler that comes with it.
Yeah.
This has a slightly different setup than the other coolers in the Ryzen lineup, in that it's a little bit more of a pain. Oh, be careful with that. Don't want to. The thermal paste on the bottom, you don't want to have to contact anything.
Okay.
So here's the thing. This is like RGB connectors for certain things. The fan's gonna light up on its own, so you don't really need these unless you're going for like one of those rainbow puke builds. So on the side, you're gonna see these levers, right? These levers line up with these notches right here.
Gotcha. Okay. So this way or the other way?
So it usually depends on your motherboard and how it's gonna sit in your case, but most of the time you want to give as much clearance to your RAM as possible. So if there's like something overhanging on the side, you want to maybe put that on the other side. I don't believe this cooler has that problem though.
Okay. Where does this guy go?
That will be plugged into your CPU fan header, usually located up here somewhere.
Okay, so maybe like this?
Yes.
Alright.
So we just want to kind of like get this guy on here.
Yes. You want to kind of lean that, get the hook in, and then let it lay flat on top of the CPU.
Okay.
And this is the part that's a bit of a pain in the ass. You do need to put a reasonable amount of pressure to get the lever arms to latch on.
Okay.
That's normal, because typically if your CPU has like screw heads, the pressure is applied by the screwdriver and the particular screws involved. Because it's not in this case, you have to actually apply the pressure with your hands.
So should I just push down?
Yeah, so you can push down a little bit, make sure it's contacting the CPU. And you kind of, like I said, at this stage, you can see there, you want that lever to hook in and under, right here, onto that latch.
Yeah. Where does this guy go? Is it going to be up or down?
So whenever you get that hooked on, you're going to take this and turn it the whole way over, so it snaps on and locks.
So just like this.
Yes.
And then keep going hard.
Yes. Until you hear it click. There you go.
So just like that.
And you'll be doing the same for the other side.
I don't think there's a lever over here.
But there might not be. They update these things with every generation.
Does
Okay.
that look good?
Yep. No wiggle, nothing. That's exactly how you want it.
Lit. Do we plug this in now or wait?
Yeah, it's always good practice to plug in as much as you can before you actually install the motherboard.
Okay. Which, do we know which one? How do we know?
So it'll say CPU fan header, either here or on the manual.
Manual.
Let's see. Oh, we got some commenters. Let's see.
Oh, it's Will. Hey, what up, Will?
Hi, Will. Don't drop it, Linus. Yeah. What's up, Georgie?
Glad you could join us, Will. Thank you.
Alright. Let's see, what the fuck?
So yeah, you'd be looking for the motherboard layout. Typically on higher end motherboards, they kind of expect you to automatically know.
Those bastards.
So yeah, they figure that nobody who's going to build their first PC is going to go with the nicest available parts. So
well, they would be dead wrong.
So because you're on probably one of the nicer platforms, it's going to be especially with a brand like Asus, where they're kind of like an industry leader. So certificate of reliability.
Yeah.
Thanks, Asus.
It's reliable. Alright, so let's see here. Chapter 1. Onboard LEDs, jumpers, internal connectors.
We are just
Maybe like a layout of the whole damn
Yes.
fucking thing.
that's what we would be ideally looking for. I don't know if there's like a, there we go.
There it is.
So we're looking for CPU fans.
Here's our chip. So this top one here.
Yes.
So this guy.
Yeah, one of
CPU fan and CPU OPT.
yes, it'll be number 2 then. So right there.
This guy.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect.
And how does this bitch go?
Fortunately, for a lot of these connectors, they only go in one way, so
Yeah.
you can't mess this up.
Perfect. They're keyed. Okay. Awesome. We are off and running. All right. So RAM, maybe.
Yeah, RAM. You can just this is what I would say is the easiest part of PC building is installing RAM.
Yeah.
So you want
Now,
to.
I know there's a certain DIMM slots though that it goes in, right? Generally.
So generally speaking, as you can see, they're actually off-colored. 2 are gray, 2 are black.
Oh shit.
That's going to be one channel, and then the black will be one channel, the gray will be another channel. Typically, in my experience, it doesn't really matter which one you use as long as they're both correctly lined up into in their proper channels.
I see.
However, I would say that if that is one of the higher end motherboards, they might actually have like a preference.
I got recommended memory configurations. So it says 2, and it looks like 2 in the gray.
Yeah, looks like 2 in the gray to me.
All right, so we got two 32s, and I'm assuming they're keyed, so we can't fuck it up.
Yes, there is a notch on all RAM slots, and it's slightly off center, so you can only put it in one way.
All right. So let's grab one of these bad boys. We can get this bitch out of there. All right.
So we'll go gray, and it looks like it's this way. So we gotta probably pop these out, pop and pop. Maybe up now. Look, that one is.
Yeah, some are fixed.
Yeah, those ones are fixed. Okay. So we will go right here. We'll drop this guy in here. Fucking.
You'll know it's in whenever the piece clicks into place. Yeah, looks. That might be a little loose.
Fucking RAM.
This is also the part I think a lot of people, aside from the CPU, that get most nervous with because they have to apply more pressure than maybe they expected.
Let's try it again.
Fortunately, RAM's pretty hard to break.
Alright, that looks even-ish, so just press down.
Yes, apply even pressure until it clicks into place. There you go.
Perfect. Tremendously tremendous. Let's try to do that again. How many PCs have you built, Dave?
Well, if we call this half of one, it's gonna be about 6.5.
Holy shit.
All for yourself?
Yeah, mostly just to perfect my craft. Flipped a little stuff. I've built in every form factor, which was a goal of mine, to use every available array of PC parts that I could, actually afford to do. So I would buy stuff on the cheap, build stuff, sell it back to make my money back and a little extra.
Nice. Alright, so I'm just going to get some of this stuff out of the way here. Moving and grooving. Alright. Okay.
So what do you think you do next?
Alright, so we got the CPU, we got the fan, we got the RAM. This guy out of here. I know these are probably for something that I can't remember. We don't have. So I think some of it's probably going to depend, based on my knowledge. I think some of it's probably going to depend on what the actual parts that we have are. Because I feel like if we had M.2 shit, we'd probably put that on there.
Yeah, you could put that on.
But I don't think we have any of that. So, maybe put it in to the case. Maybe. I'm trying to think about the other parts that we have. We got the power supply. We got the power supply, we got the card, and we're not doing anything crazy with the fans at this point because I didn't buy any extra fans. So
and fortunately, NZXT usually outfits their cases with respectable fans.
yeah. So I know that once if we are ready to put this thing in here, we should probably. Hey, wait a second. I know that we need to put this in it before we put the motherboard in.
Yes. Otherwise, you're going to have
a bit of a problem there.
It's not necessarily a make or break system problem, but it definitely it'll look weird, and you'll run the risk of cutting yourself on your PC parts when you pick up the computer.
Okay.
So this is important, not because this is hard to install, but because there is a little bit of a risk to it. It's very thin metal. You can cut yourself very easily. You line it up with the proper hole, and then you want to, in an X pattern, push in like any of the two corners you feel comfortable with. But it's important that you do like a top left and bottom right.
Yeah.
Push, and when that side clicks in, you do the same to the opposite two corners.
Right.
That's
okay, so there's just little notches.
Yes. Best way to keep your fingers safe.
All right. Let's see here. Let's try that. Let's try. Building shit. Oh dear. Oh yeah.
Typically when PCs, when you hear the satisfying click, you know you're good. If you hear something that sounds like it broke, then
Fucked. This is gonna be pretty dope, dude. You know, I was looking at the case though; it's pretty fucking big. I think like if I did this again, given the exact scenario that I had, I probably would have went something smaller, just because I don't feel like I have a ton of stuff in this build.
So there's two schools of thought. Typically, when you buy larger cases, it's with the intent of upgrading later.
I get some.
Modern day PCs tend to be built in the micro ATX form factor for that reason.
Yeah.
I would say, however, you have a Ryzen 9 system, and there may come a day where you would want additional cooling that maybe the micro ATX form factor can't really give to you in any effective way. So the form factor you chose is the safest for saving you money in the long run.
Right.
If you ever wanted to switch form factors, it's not like it's not doable, but there are certain restrictions. Like I've built a mini ITX.
Yeah.
It's a pain in the ass, but I've been able to get like really, I would say, high-end systems built in ITX chassis, but you have to go in and consciously understand what you're sacrificing and where you got to make it up. You have to plan the build on paper before you plan the build in reality, and that's a key difference. The smaller your computer chassis gets, the more kind of obstacles you're putting in your own way. Not that it's awful at mini ITX, but like...
Gotcha. Okay. So this is ATX?
Yes, that would be
Just
standard
full.
ATX.
Gotcha. Okay, so now where we're at is we have motherboard good, we got the I/O shield on there. This bad boy is going to go in there like this whenever we do that. And this is the other thing that is kind of confusing. We got this guy. Oh shit. Is he here?
He may be here.
Hello? Yeah. Yeah, dude, check the stream, man. Are you coming? I don't know. We're halfway done, and we're on stream, dude. I'm talking to you. We're on Twitch and Facebook. It's lit. Yeah.
Halfway done is dependent on a few variables.
Let me see something. Totally up to you, my man. Totally up to you, my man. I'm gonna share it over to all our friends. What? I can't say that on the stream. Okay. That's it. About to have a party on the stream, baby. Alright, let me share this.
He on his way, or?
He's in the area, so.
Alright. So, you want to take a guess at the next step, and I can tell you whether or not you're there, or?
Yes. Let me send him my address, because it's not a good idea to do that on stream.
Yeah, probably.
Camera's dead or something.
No, camera, why?
That was actually weird. Weird. That was super strange. Weird. That's true.
Yeah, I would try and reset it for you, but I don't know anything about that camera. So.
Hang on a second.
It's probably just being a bitch.
Entirely possible.
Honestly, I don't think it's entirely meant. I'm not even sure what was happening there. I don't think it's entirely meant to do what we're trying to have it do. So,
Possible.
I'm not super concerned because this was a total test of the emergency broadcast system.
Yeah. Okay. I think we're Gucci. I don't know. Doesn't matter. All right. Interesting. I think I'm getting distracted, but I don't know if YouTube like actually started working or something, but I got an email saying, "Oh, now live on your channel, personal finance tips or something," because that was the last stream that I did. It doesn't matter. Okay, so this is interesting to me, but I was actually gonna ask a question about this because this is a Wi-Fi and Bluetooth board, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Right. Like so that's something obviously that I wanted to include in the build. This thing is like a little shark fin that looks like you put it on there. I'm actually wondering though, one, if you actually need this. I'm assuming you need it for the functionality. However, it seems like they go in here. One's Wi-Fi, one's Bluetooth. But my thought was, do you think that you could use, instead of this weird ass looking thing, some of those little antennas that just like stick out? You know what I'm talking about?
You could get third-party antennas, yes.
You could? Okay. I don't know. Maybe we'll just stick with that, but that's probably not now anyway. Okay, so I'm thinking that if there's no onboard storage or anything, there's no like ME.2 or anything. Trying to desperately remember what that video said. I think we probably want to. There's gonna be a graphics card, but we gotta put the memory card in. We gotta put the motherboard in first. There's gonna be a power supply, which is gonna go down here. But I think we probably put the motherboard in first. And we might want to pop off the other side of this case.
So, there's two schools of thought to this,
Mhm.
and I just realized I actually have the same laptop.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah. No, that's the same model.
Really?
So, do you happen to have your old monitor by chance?
Yes.
Okay.
It's up there.
So typically, what you want to do, there's nothing wrong with what you said.
Yeah.
But to possibly save yourself time, in case anything is defective or maybe not installed correctly, what you want to do is you want to test boot the system before you put it into the actual case. Because once it's in there, if something is wrong, you have to take it all back out anyway. So what I usually do in these scenarios, for that CPU which does not have onboard graphics, I put it on the GPU, then I hook up the power supply, and then as long as you have like a monitor, you can like boot it to.
Okay.
If you get to the motherboard BIOS, you're in the clear. Then you just take the power supply out, the GPU out, and then you're prepared to put it into the case.
Okay. Sounds good. So now, question on that. Is there a way to like know that all the RAM and everything is good? Like, will it say that on the BIOS?
Yes. That is the purpose of the motherboard BIOS is to basically give you the system report of all of your parts.
Gotcha. Look at all this shit they give you here. What is this for?
That appears to be a bag for your tools.
What tools? Like random tools that
Well,
I already have?
Ideally, your remaining
Cables and
yes.
holy shitting cables. This is fully modular, I guess. Is that why I'm looking at all this?
Yes, fully modular means they give you a cable for everything you could possibly imagine and some things you can't. But you will not be needing all those cables.
Oh my god. That's absurd.
But they did provide the bag.
Oh look, can you just put it in while it's still in the bag, just in case you want to take your power supply with you somewhere.
Well, you know what?
So
If you wanted a house fire, you could look into that. Yeah.
Jesus.
Right. So this is the simple part, right? All of the motherboard cables are the same on both sides, typically, only rare cases. The only thing you have to know is the small notch on each cable goes into the power supply. The large notch goes into the actual motherboard or graphics card. So for example, just your 24 pin here. You see how these notches are slightly different, right? Typically what you want to do is you're going to line it up. I'm going to show you from this side. You're going to line it up with your here I am making this claim and then immediately mess it up. So they should line up See how these are separated and has two different areas for them?
Yeah.
That's so you know 100% which side goes into where. Now, there are some that are going to be 8 pins on either side, and that's going to appear to be confusing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're split like this. This side goes into your graphics card. See how it's got this big notch?
Yeah.
This is a little notch.
Mm-hmm.
This will not fit into there. There's no way to mess this cable up.
Okay.
So.
Okay. All right. So let's move some of this stuff out of the way, and then so we want to basically connect the motherboard. So this thing
Yes.
into that big ass one over here.
Yes.
Okay. Alrighty.
And since everything's out of the case, it doesn't really matter if it's hooked up to the power supply first. However, when you get to the point where you're installing the power supply, you want the cables already attached to the power supply as you install it.
Okay.
Because you're going to have to route cables certain ways.
Gotcha. All right. So the ones that split goes into here.
Yes.
Gotcha. Let's just do this. Okay.
And it's just this one that has motherboard.
Yes. All the cables are also labeled, and that's very easy to.
Perfect.
So is this always the case? Like the motherboard is, what is this, 24 pins?
Yes. There's called the 24 pin connector usually. Sometimes it's 28. Sometimes it's even as little as 20. I've seen Dell use 27 pin,
I gotcha.
which is weird.
So how far into these things normally goes? Like a little snap?
They should click in, and then once they're like in there pretty solidly, you should be able to gently pull them out. But I mean, like if you give it a little wiggle, it should stay in place.
Okay. There we go.
It's actually unplugging them from the motherboard that becomes a little bit difficult at times.
Gotcha. Alright, that looks like that's probably in there. Okay, so we got the motherboard and then the motherboard there. We're gonna test this. Gotta grab that monitor. So this one's gonna go in here.
Yes.
Okay.
And the tab will always be connected to some kind of like small ridge.
Okay.
So it only goes in one way.
So like this.
Yes. Fortunately, you don't have any carpet in here, so the risk of any static is extremely low.
Nice. Alright, so we got that. Power supply's in there. We're gonna obviously have to hook that into power, but we should probably bring this
Yes.
bad boy out of here so we can do some testing.
That way, if, once again, you did anything incorrectly or simply put that there's a faulty part, you don't have to worry about unscrewing everything from the case again.
Yeah.
It's just a small step to take now to possibly save you time later. Woo! It's a very nice looking GPU. It's a monster, by the way.
Really?
If you ever get the opportunity to really test this thing out, this graphics card can do some pretty amazing things.
Really? Like
Yeah.
what?
So it is on the consumer grade. Obviously, there's like a commercial grade for all of these things. On consumer grade, there's the third most powerful graphics card in the world,
Number 3, baby.
and number 1 and 2 are completely unreasonable. So
Unreasonable.
yeah, like
What's that?
$1,300.
What's that STRIX thing?
Oh, Strix. So
Yeah.
basically, when you get, and this is also an add-in board card, it means that these third-party companies get these cards and they have their own branding. The Strix branding is generally considered the higher echelon of third-party cards because they're coolers and overall RGB. Like everything is like done with a degree of quality to it that warrants a slightly higher price.
Yeah.
It's up for debate how much of that really matters to people, but generally speaking, Strix cards have superior cooling to everything else on the market. It also, a lot of that money that you're spending kind of goes into aesthetics,
Yeah.
and that's totally subjective,
Yeah.
but they do perform well. They are very higher performing cards in terms of what you can expect out of third-party cards.
Gotcha. Okay. Alright, so should I take the plastic off or just hang on to that for now, probably?
Always take the plastic off. It's actually pretty satisfying when you just
Yeah.
kind of slow peel it off.
So take her off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes it doesn't cooperate.
Nice. Yeah, I left the plastic on the tempered glass.
Yeah,
That's gonna be the fun part.
yeah, that's the smart thing to do. While it's kind of just laying them out, you never know what can happen. So, not that it's super easy to scratch tempered glass, but
Nice. All right, we got a big bitch here. Can I set this anywhere?
so it
Is that a bad idea?
as long as you like set it kind of like upright or cooler side down, because you don't want to scratch anything on the back here.
Just like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, they're not super fragile.
Yeah.
But it's always good to keep best practices.
Okay, so we need power.
Yes.
Alright, so how does this cable situation work? I guess they're all labeled, or
Yes.
no?
They will all be labeled. What you are looking for out of all these cables is PCIe. So, as that, or could be VGA. It could be labeled VGA here.
This guy?
Yes. So that's 2 VGA cables. I'm gonna check for sanity, but I'm fairly certain. Yes, this is also VGA. SATA, VGA. Okay, cool. They gave you extra power cords in case you wanted to run SLI. You won't be doing that. So CPU power. And this is also CPU power. They actually gave you 2 extra cables here. Nice.
Okay. Alright, so we just need one of these guys.
Yeah, well, 2 of them. So as you see, if you flip up the card, you have one 8-pin and one 6-pin.
Okay.
So this is an 8-pin connector,
Gotcha.
and they are it's a 6 and 2 on the side that gets plugged into the graphics card.
Okay.
That's how you'll end up getting an 8 and a 6. Is that on the second cable, this will not be plugged in. You'll just be plugging in this portion.
Gotcha. Okay, so we got this weird thing going on here. So this one.
Oh, hey, cool! You got double-headed cables. All right, you can do this with one cable.
Nice.
I
I like less cables.
Yes, I don't use modular power supplies. Not because they're not better; they're way better. They're more expensive.
Yeah, I got you. So these.
Wait a second. So 6 and 2 and 6 and 2.
Yes.
So there's 6.
So one of these is not gonna be plugged in.
Yes, one of those little 2-headed portions of the cable will not be plugged in.
Cool. I love less cables. That's why I bought that big ass expensive monitor. That was, debatably worth it. I haven't heard it crack. I haven't heard it pop since you've been here. I was waiting for that to happen.
Yeah, it honestly could just be the heat
I think it is.
affecting the plastic. But now that it's like used to being in this environment, it'll probably go away.
Yeah.
So something like this. And like this.
Depending on when Merhan gets here, you'll be here for the exciting part. Yeah, they like to sit in there pretty snug because it's kind of important that the cables don't get yanked out of it while it's running.
Right. Strange.
There you go. Should be, like I said, nice little satisfying click.
Do you think that's in there? It's a little. What do you think is? I mean, it just looks like it's.
Yep, there you go.
Oh, perfect. I didn't know it snapped like that. That's awesome. Okay, so now we got this guy. Now we need to put this
onto here somewhere, and
Goes
we're gonna need
into the power supply, actually.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Okay.
So you are looking for one of the VGA outlets on there.
Okay, I see VGA 2, 3, 4, 1. So does it matter?
I don't believe that it matters. I'm pretty sure it's just there in the event that you wanted to run double graphics cards. But I'm
Okay.
pretty sure they all have the same power
Alright.
output.
Well, I have OCD, so we'll put it in one.
No problem.
Alright, so now I think we need, I don't know if this guy, but we need I'm assuming the power for this, and I need to grab that monitor.
Yeah, you'll need the monitor because you'll have to take the stream offline to test it on this one. So.
Right. Alright, let me grab the monitor real quick.
So what's up, chat? How's everybody doing? Who's still with us? It's a huge monitor, Mark. Just gotta let you know, man.
It's a big monitor.
Yeah. Like mine's an ultra wide, but this is like two of mine duct
That's
taped
like
together.
Two screens together, yeah. It's crazy.
So what's up, chat?
Nice. Nice. I think we have 3 on Facebook. It's
Will just got a genie.
4. Nice.
You know how it is, Will. Throw that shit on the airblur.
Alright. Alright. This is exciting. So, we actually talked about this, I think, briefly. We have, out of curiosity, we got 3 display ports and an HDMI on this watch.
Yes.
So, does that just mean that I could have 4 displays?
Yes, you could have up to 4 displays.
Okay.
The choice in which you hook them up largely depends more on the monitor than the card itself. So, as long as you know what you're looking for, certain display ports or HDMI output, like whatever version of them you have for your monitor, will affect which one you should realistically use. On an older monitor, there's probably no reason to ever use a display port, but on like say your ultra wide, you may want to use display port.
Okay.
Depends on how the monitor is has been made. It kind of doesn't matter too significantly in that like very rarely is it ever going to matter.
Mm-hmm.
But like if there's small like quality of life benefits, you may as well.
Right. So if that's the case, these are outputs, right?
Yes.
Okay. So because that was the question that I was thinking about was like, how could I get that camera to operate better than it is right now? Like almost as like a capture card thing, because I don't actually understand capture cards. I do, but I don't. Like an Elgato,
Yeah.
you know? Because like I'm assuming the way that happens is you plug your HDMI out from that camera into the HDMI in of an Elgato. That converts it, because it sticks in, you know, the USB thing of the USB port of your computer, and can, I guess, capture the video and stream it.
Yes.
Hopefully at like 4K in a sense, if you got like the fucking $300 one or whatever.
It takes pressure off your hardware by doing a lot of the processor internally, or processing internally, and that way you can have a higher quality performance from your personal machine, and the Elgato, which is handling the process, can give that better, higher quality stream, or in some cases even playback. It can do video too.
Gotcha.
So that's typically the value of a capture card, is that it does take pressure off your system, or even if you're in like a 2-system configuration, which a lot of people for a long time, at least until like the advent of nicer higher end computers, in a 2-system configuration, the purpose of a capture card is less about the performance drop and more about like just the quality itself. It tends to give better visuals and give an overall clearer picture.
Yeah.
The nicer the capture card is, generally speaking.
I got you. So there's no, so like right now, as a quick aside, because we're building this and I'm interested in this. Right now, that camera, I have a micro USB, because it only has micro USB and mini HDMI on it. Micro USB into the computer, and then I have the rig set up where, it has a thing that you can remote onto the computer, and I'm capturing that image and I'm streaming it, right? So that's one way. The Elgato thing I think might work, but it's $300. And like I could just buy like a webcam or something like that, obviously, too, and make it a lot easier. But like, do you know of a way, based on like the stuff that I have already, there's no way for me to get the signal from that camera into my computer, like via the stuff that I have, or?
You would probably need that mini HDMI cable, but you could do it. It would just require the same setup that you would use for the capture card, minus the capture card. It's a lot simpler that way. Where you run into trouble is sometimes you'll have like quality fall off. So on a computer like this, it can be as high end as it wants, but it's limited very heavily to latency, which on a mini USB cable, you're going to have a lot more latency than you would if you had like the HDMI.
Right.
Or if, for example, you have the capture card, which still has the latency of just generally electronics. You need to push through wires. It's going to take time. That's how physics works. But if you have the capture card, it does a lot of the processing, so the computer just simply receives a finished product, as opposed to the computer receiving it directly from the camera and then having to also process it while trying to stream it live. It's doable. There's no real reason you shouldn't try it if you have the cable. It's just that at some point, if you decide to make that leap to the capture card, you'll probably see a good benefit.
So 2 questions from everything you just said there. One, and they're kind of related. The first one is, do you think realistically that I would have any trouble with a system like this if I tried to do it without the capture card? That's the first question. The second question is, this is a dumb question. Where do I actually, if I have a mini HDMI into that camera, like, you know, the port there, and then assumingly a full HDMI, where do I plug that in?
That would, so it's a mini HDMI to regular HDMI, right?
Yeah.
Typically, the RTX cards have new software, so this is...
Might have popped that time, I don't know.
Hold on.
I was here.
Yeah.
Is he here?
Oh, yeah. Okay. He needs you to open the door.
Oh, Jesus. Alright. Alright, hang on, party people. We got another stream member. He's not here. I might have typed in the wrong address.
Yeah, I don't know where he's at.
Hang on a second. Talk to the streamers.
So how's that genie lamp? Well, treating you good? Hello, George, who I may or may not know. Not entirely sure. Possibly a Crafton local. No, it is not the same laptop. He has a higher end CPU than mine. Hey, Kristen, look at this nerd building a computer. I know. Well, I'm not really building it, I'm just directing. So, like, you know, the least impressive job of any particular achievement. It's like coaching a baseball team. You mostly just sit there like, hey, you did that poorly. No, like, I know. That's it. Alright. Hey, he's live.
It's live, dude. Oh shit, get hot here, dude. Yeah, it's gonna get hot. It's already hot. Okay. Alright, we're gonna have a fan too. Alright, lit. Okay, so where was I gonna plug that in? Here?
The graphics card?
Yeah.
Oh, alright. So the HDMI would go into the graphics card.
I got that, yeah.
So that end goes into the monitor.
Got that.
And the graphics card itself gets installed into the motherboard. You always use the top lane because it's a 16x, and your graphics card is 16x. If you put your graphics card into this one, it functions, but you lose twice your bandwidth, so it'll function slower.
Okay. So we need to do that now?
Yes. You would need to install the graphics card into the motherboard.
Okay. And then we're going to test it.
Yes, you have one more cable to plug in, but yes.
Okay. So I should do this then?
Yes. So there's the black sleeve on the graphics card. You gotta pull that off. Gently.
How you doing, B?
Pretty good.
Talk to the streamers. Talk to the chat.
No, you guys are giving them educational advice right now. Bravo.
Educational.
Information.
Just
Big
found-
boy.
Yeah, it is.
It's a big bitch.
Alright.
I also have a massive case. That was not intentional, but it was high quality.
So like this?
Top lane.
Oh, top
And,
one.
you do want to slide this over a little bit towards the edge because you got this metal piece hanging off, and it'll give it the breathing room it needs.
So is it just sitting there? Is it clicking or?
It'll click in if it's lined up. Looks like you're all good. Just kind of gently. Oh wait, oops, forgot one step.
How you gonna undo that?
Should. I don't want to put too much pressure on. Well, you know what? Actually, it's higher than motherboard. It might click into place.
Maybe I have to go at a little bit of an angle.
Yeah, a little bit of a.
Breaks GPU.
That would be tragic.
You think push?
Yeah, just give it a gentle push. It should click. There you go.
Lit.
Now it'll wobble a little bit because it's
a big
pretty
bitch.
massive.
It's a
but
big bitch. All right. So, cool. Great. That is interesting. So is this how you normally put it in? Should I take
yeah,
this out?
yeah. You take that off. Yeah.
Is this normally how you normally install a graphics card and then put this whole motherboard in?
So you'll test boot this, and then if a successful test boot happens,
Yeah.
you actually would have to unplug the graphics card and take it back off the motherboard.
Okay.
It seems a little tedious, but trust me, if
Probably
you
better.
if you had plugged all this in and then encountered a problem,
Yeah.
now you have to take the motherboard back out and then undo your power supply. It's a whole process.
I got
Spend 10 minutes now to save yourself an hour later.
you. All right. So we gotta plug this guy in.
Yes.
This is the man's shortest cable here.
There's also one more motherboard cable you must plug in.
Okay. Let's get this in position and put this in, and I'll plug it in just yet. Alright.
Alright, so motherboard cable you said?
Yes, so this one's pretty simple.
Okay.
Once again, it looks like you have a four.
You can play Warzone on this bad boy when we're done?
So here's this one.
Okay.
This side right here with the two goes into the motherboard. This goes into the power supply.
On
You have an
mouse
8.
game.
You have
On
a
a blue keyboard and mouse game.
you have an 8 and 4, which means that you can also. Let's say that the second CPU. Did I put it down? Yes, here it is. So the second CPU, you'll actually be plugging back into the power supply, and then also be plugging in just the one.
Okay.
So,
So where did you say this one goes? Here?
so clip facing outward because you want it to hook onto this little lip.
Okay. And it's this 8 one here.
Yes.
Okay. Alright, so
You can plug them in separately. It can be a pain in the ass to do that, but you can. There's no reason that you couldn't. Unless it doesn't want to. No, weird. Oh no, it's in. Alright.
sweet. Alright.
And that goes into the power supply. You're going to be looking for CPU.
CPU 1.
Yes.
Can you have 2 CPUs? Like what's that mean?
Well, some motherboards require additional power because this is a higher end motherboard and it has things like, built-in cooling
Mm-hmm.
and Wi-Fi and such. Typically, we have a bunch of smaller things. A little additional power is required.
Gotcha.
So, back in the day, you used to be able to have.
Dude,
s-
tough.
Tough, dude. It's a tough board.
I just set this down somewhere. Here it is. So here's your second CPU cable.
Okay.
And this time you're only going to be plugging in one of those 2 4-pins, and then that'll go into CPU 2 for the power supply.
Okay. So this guy over here and one of these guys in here. The other cable just chills out here?
Yes, that's normal. I know it looks a little weird, but the purpose of modular power supplies is to give you options for any system you could be building.
Okay. Alright, so I'm trying to see what the best
Yeah, I should have just called my boy Ninja, huh?
Ninja, yeah.
Boy Ninja.
Call your boy
So,
Doctor.
This is
He's done.
this is actually important
Mm-hmm.
because of the way this is plugged in. What you're going to want to do is actually plug this one in because this is hanging in towards your motherboard and you don't want it making contact.
Gotcha.
If I call my boy Doctor, you wouldn't be able to stream on Twitch right now.
Unfortunately.
With our 1 or 2 viewers.
The Champions Club, dude.
What happened to him? Is he
No
alright?
one knows.
Yeah.
Still don't know.
No,
I don't even think he knows.
Is he dead?
he's not dead. I mean, from what I heard, him, Ninja, and Shroud were gonna build a streaming community, like a streaming service by themselves.
Christ. Do you know anything about that? I have to find somebody to do that for me. All right,
They're
so
like the 3 biggest streamers
testing?
in the world.
So you have your CPUs plugged in. You have your graphics card plugged in. Looks good.
a lot of fun.
You have your motherboard power, 24 pin HDMI. Okay, so here's the interesting part about this, and I'll let you do the honors.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna need this screwdriver.
Okay.
Make sure your monitor is turned on, working, all that stuff.
I think it was powered on when I plugged it in. Make sure it's still on.
And so here's the interesting part about this. So somewhere in here are your front panel connectors and your power cable. It's a little bit longer than I'm used to. It's a higher end motherboard than I normally deal with.
Mm-hmm.
But somewhere on here is your power connector. You need to short those 2 cables to get power to the motherboard.
So just,
Yeah, just touch.
I gotta turn this on?
Oh, you do need to. Yeah, that would help. Plug that in
Hopefully this doesn't fall.
and flip that on.
Okay.
Alright, motherboard's receiving power. That's good. And then
Hey,
the
it's got-
power switch is somewhere on
It's
here.
lighty!
Yeah.
So just somewhere in there.
Yeah, you just kind of give it like a gentle tap until you see the fans spin up. Could take a few times to like find it. It's a little tough. Normally I use a flathead screwdriver to kind of get in there.
Is it 2 of them?
Yes, you'll be touching 2 different
Across?
pins. Yeah, across from each other.
Whoa, fuck, boys. Woo! Now don't put anything in there.
Now it'll
Don't
boot
dig
loop
in
a
there.
few times because that's what AMD does. So it'll spin up, power down, spin up, power down, spin up, and usually between 3 and 5 attempts, it'll boot up.
Wow. You should have been recording that. You should have been recording that.
You never told me to.
That's
I mean, you can-
I
disgusting.
expect the screwdriver powered on.
Screwdriver power, baby. That's nasty.
Monitor? Just to be sure.
That's nasty. Where's the fucking power button on this thing?
You're in the BIOS.
Nah.
Everything has booted correctly. You're running at what is reasonable wattage. Motherboard temperature will never be that chill again. Don't worry about that. CPU fan, 1400 RPM, 45C.
Nice.
Oh,
What happened?
that's pretty cool.
What did we break?
You didn't break nothing. It's just a nicer BIOS than I'm used to looking. It's not a budget board, so it actually gives you more information to start. So your memory's running at 2666. This is fixable later. I wouldn't worry about that right now. Yeah, alright, so everything looks in order. So you can just simply flip the switch on your power supply to power down.
Okay. 2666. Is it 30?
3200.
200?
Yeah, you'll have to just go into the BIOS and fix it like whenever it's fully installed.
Oops. I think I turned the fan off.
Yeah, you do have a silent option for your power supply if you're building a lower end system.
So just flip this off then.
Yeah, you just flip it right off. Go. System power down. Now, hey, if you want to get like that video, you can flip that back on, take number 2, do it again.
That's actually a good idea. Let's do that. Fucking. Okay. Question about that though. So it's 3200 RAM. Here's an actual interesting thing that that my buddy that was helping me build some of this. I think it's like right. Ooh, turn it on my computer with a screwdriver. Sick. Okay. Do I need to wait?
I would say let it boot up,
Yeah.
and then whenever it's like back to the BIOS screen,
That's
do your
nice.
tough gaming
Mm.
success screen.
Noise.
Alright, yeah.
So a question about this though, and the RAM that I bought. So I can turn off now.
Yes.
Question about the RAM that I bought real quick. They have faster RAM.
They do, you know.
And I was looking at that, and then I looked at the board specs and the chip, and it was like you should probably use not like with all those things. It was like come down to like 3200 or something. Like, does that make sense?
So this is one of the important differences between AMD and Intel that a lot of people talk about. AMD's processors are kind of more RAM dependent than Intel. Now it's not by any great degree, but like it does affect performance. they have this thing called Infinity Fabric for AMD. So it syncs your computer up to your RAM speed to like a 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 ratio. As long as it like ends up being an even spread, like a divisible number.
Yeah.
That's what it's looking for. When you get to higher frequency RAMs like 3800 megahertz, you run into like an awkward situation where there's no 1-to-1, 2-to-1, 3-to-1 division that you can make. And sometimes that affects your performance slightly. It's not major. It's not the worst thing, but for people who typically buy enthusiast grade hardware, you're looking at a possibility of like losing some performance. And I'm dead serious. Some people buy chips like this to like cool them with liquid nitrogen and like you know run the clocks up to like 6 megahertz. So like generally speaking, it's not that that's like bad advice, but in your use case, it's not going to be the end of the world. However, you have the 3200 megahertz RAM. It's running at 266. The only thing you need to do is once it's installed, the computer's built, you'll go into the BIOS and then you'll just simply ask it to run at its projected speeds. And as long as the motherboard can handle it, and it shows it's an X57 or X570 rather, you'll be fine.
Dope.
So everything booted. Now we're at the stage where you simply just unhook the power supply cables from the motherboard and unhook the graphics card, and you can begin installing it into your case.
Should I unplug this?
So flip the switch first always. It's just good practice.
To off.
Yes.
It's off.
And then ground yourself by touching the power supply before you touch the motherboard.
So what do you mean?
So you'll go touch. Good. Once it's off though, if it's on, then you run some static issues. But the reason why you do that is because if you're not grounded, you can static discharge. And so typically speaking, it's not really that dangerous because you don't have carpet. But in the event that you ever mess with your computer on carpet, you always want to touch this or your power supply, either one of these, fine, and you can touch your motherboard safely.
Okay. Should I unplug this from the wall?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. Just so I don't pull this right off the table. Alright, we'll leave that there. Okay, so kind of just touch some metal shit and then I can play with the board.
Yes.
All right.
You'll ground yourself and then you'll be safe to touch all your electronics.
Science. Okay, so unplug all the stuff that's going to the power supply.
Yes.
Okay.
The power supply itself should keep all its cables plugged in, but the motherboard can be unplugged.
Okay.
Now, some of these cables are going to be a little tough to budge. That's normal. It's just so they don't get like yanked out. You may need to apply a little bit of pressure to get them out, but
tight space here.
imagine how much tighter it would be if you had to mess around inside the case.
Yeah, good call. Jesus. Okay, got that guy. This guy.
We need to take this whole thing out, right?
Yes.
So should we just do that now, or
Yeah.
just leave that kind of in and then just pull the card out?
So you heard it snap into place. There's a little tab down here. It's hard to reach, but you push it back, and then your graphics card will come up.
Gotcha.
So it may already be down. Oh, there you go. That's how you know it's good. You kind of just gently lift. You always want to try and grab it from the center whenever possible. Not always possible, so don't overly exert yourself to try and stress about it, I guess. I don't know what words I was looking for there.
We got a big bitch there.
This one's always the pain in the ass. Always the pain in the ass. Make sure you're pressing the tab down and then pulling up with some force. You're gonna need it to be. I usually laugh at this kind of thing because it's a little unnecessary.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So.
What's up?
Alright. So it looks like the latch is like not even hooked on. So I don't know if it's like up yet. Perfect.
All good. Awesome. Now we slide her in. Or should we take the back off?
Alright, so there's two processes to this. I think your computer case here already has standoffs pre-installed.
Oh yeah, standoffs. Yeah, it's off the thing.
So I don't know if they would have come in like this little plastic bag that came with your case. Alright, so there's only 2 standoffs in here, which means that these are actually pre-installed
Yeah, they're at
standoffs.
the, I did watch that video. They're at the A's. There's like a legend for like ATX, micro, ITX.
Yes. So this is the part you have to be a little careful. You have your IO shield installed. You want to orient your motherboard correctly, how it's going to go in the case, and you kind of want to gently slide it in until everything lines up and it pushes through like these through the IO shield. Because you have Wi-Fi potential connectors here, you might scratch against some stuff. That's how you'll know that it's not going in correctly. So ultimately, it's not going to damage your motherboard, but it does make an annoying noise.
Would you wait to take the back off? Or would you do
So don't remove the back panel on the case yet. That will matter more when you install the power supply.
that? Okay. All right. So let's just get this biatch in here. It's a heavy motherfucker. All right. So.
Oh, hey, they gave you zip ties. You expect that to like actually be in there.
There's like that one in the middle that it sits in. That one standoff in the middle has a little lip,
Yeah.
and it sits in there, and it's kind of like good. I think that screws a little. Okay, looks like if you just push it like that, it'll be good. So when we screw it in,
Yes.
it seems like that's decent to me. Clicked.
Alright, so you have like many small screws here. This is I
extended
believe-
amounts of shit.
So the good thing about this, hey, case fan screws. So the cool thing about this is a lot of these are excess screws. They give you quite a few extras here. You won't be needing any particular one, I don't think, but you have a magnetic head screwdriver.
I don't think so.
No? Alright, so this is the fun part here. So these are the flat head ones. Typically I like to use these ones to screw into the motherboard, assuming that they're the correct thread. That's very important because they grip a little bit better, they're a little bit easier to deal with.
Yeah.
So without a magnetic head screwdriver, which actually may have come with your monitor.
Oh shit. My dad probably did that. He's a big magnetic guy. Alright, so one of these.
Yeah, so you line it up how you would, and then
There's like 8 screws, 8 holes around.
it could be as few as 6. That's the your motherboard may vary.
Yeah. Okay. Alright. And don't strip them. Okay.
The click should let you know that it's in there.
Really?
So that would not be the correct thread.
Okay.
Try this one.
Is there multiple threads in this one little?
Yeah, that's they give you a lot of excess screws.
Is there like a bag of all just the motherboard screws, or is that not how it works?
So they have them separated in a few different bags. Some of these are for the power supply even. I'm not sure why they chose to go about it that way. They did.
Alright, let's try this guy.
So if this doesn't work, then we try the rounded screws. Oh, fell off. Just trying to run away.
Little bastard.
Alright, so pull that up. Yeah, I'm not sure if that was screwing. So we'll try one of the rounded head screws, just to be sure.
Yeah, this is the case strip.
So, generally speaking, they have all the screws separated for what you'll actually need them for, and you'll find that like all the screws for the case share the same threads and such. So try those ones and then keep these as separate as possible.
Time's a bird, man. What do you got happening?
Actually making pretty good time on this. Because you're through all the hard stuff.
Nice.
And hopefully that shouldn't pop right back up.
That might have been the trick there.
Alright, so rounded head screws it is.
Okay. So there's one.
These things are small, they go missing very easily. I'd be careful of those.
That's kind of big. I'll go with this one here because it's a little off. Blah, 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 blah. You guys having fun on the stream? Got 2 watchers.
Kristen popped in for a minute. I think she left to go do some things. She was watching anime.
I think that's in.
Yeah, it's in the main.
Alright, so we got 1, 2, those are the ones I put in. It looks like we got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8 sounds right. It'll be between 6 and 8. Anything more would be.
Do you know if we have more of these?
Yes, we have plenty more of those.
Okay.
I just pulled out a few of them.
Gotcha.
Slightly different.
Tesla down, what the? You'd be shitting me. I'm gonna have so many spare parts.
They come in handy from time to time.
Put in there.
And I lined up very clean and nicely, actually. I normally have to fight with my IO shields.
Get the fuck in there.
Motherboard manufacturers are doing this thing where they have pre-installed IO shields these days.
Really?
I'm not sure how much I like it, but I do hate fighting with them. So, certainly something to consider. Alright, so this. Yeah, no flex. So, that is properly installed.
Is absolutely good. B, when are you coming on the podcast, bud?
Whenever.
Dave's coming on.
I know. So is Pete.
Yeah, he.
I'm excited for that one.
Recording with him on Saturday. I thought I was just gonna have Dave build this. He walks in here, he's like, "Yeah, you're gonna build it." I'm like, what? I was gonna build that monitor mount over there.
This is the fun of me building it.
This ain't bad.
It ain't stream worthy.
It's pretty fun.
Like I said, it's just really expensive adult Legos.
How much you pay for all this?
Too much.
Monitor too?
No, not the monitor. Just the.
$3,000. I think. Does that sound right, Dave?
The build itself, just rough estimate of all the parts. The actual tower itself should be about 2,200.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Wait, what's
I think I
2,200?
overshot that.
The everything that's going in that tower. And then I don't know what the monitor was, but
Monitor was like 13. So.
good news is you won't have to replace any of this for an extremely long time.
Yeah.
By the time that this becomes like an average computer, you will have already gotten all of that money and more out of it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, that's the thing is I don't want any. I don't know. I'm actually low key super what the fuck? I'm super like impressed at whatever the fuck is going on right now with this stream. 'Cause this is pretty incredible, but I can't believe that it's actually still on. Truthfully, that camera on that computer because I always have problems. But these screws are a pain in the ass.
Sure are.
Let that one. Let that one.
Now, imagine if you had gone through all the trouble to do this, plugged in your power supply, and then it just didn't boot. So now you have to unscrew it. Yeah, it's there's little small things you can do to make your life a lot less painful.
But you can have some tough Warzone content on this.
Tough Warzone.
How's 4K 120 frames soon?
120
Tough.
frames. Jesus Christ. I don't think that. Is that thing 120?
Oh, we'll find out.
Fuck. Come back here, screw.
And that is why we love our
Oh,
magnetic head
yes.
screwdrivers.
It's 1440.
The display is 1440, but what is the refresh rate? Display driver one is alright. So the laptop literally could not change the refresh rate on this, even if it wanted to.
Yeah, I saw that.
But, alright, it's running at 60. So I mean, who knows what it'll be once you have it in its like actual ecosystem.
Yeah. I can say that laptop has been pretty impressive with this thing, with this screen. I will say I did not think that it was going to perform and like be able to run, but it has definitely been nice to me while I have been this fucking screw.
It is a 1050 Ti, is a little trooper.
This screw hole is a little bitch.
Yeah, it's a little off center. Alright, try it now. Just the slightest little lean to the right here.
I had it and I lost it.
Still a little off.
Little bitch. This thing's
Yep,
got
right there, right there.
this thing's got lights in it, dude. There we go. Pass that there. Great. Tremendous.
Alright, no flex, so that's
there's
good.
one more right here.
And that's it. Motherboard is screwed in. And then you move on to the, well, I actually think it's just the tedious parts, but it's,
Cable management.
it makes a world of difference. Like, alright, long time, now I'm here, still watching anime. Alright, you do you. I don't know nothing about no Japanese cartoons.
You know what's annoying when you have RGB in your computer and you technically bought the case for $30 extra that has RGB in it and you're only going to use red.
I typically stop that sentence at, you know what's annoying when your case has RGB. It's just it.
I've heard this cam software is really bad.
So the problem with anything RGB related is like you'll never ever get the software to play nice with other softwares.
Yeah.
So if it requires more than one software, it's probably just gonna be a pain
Well, that's
in
the
the
thing
ass.
is that I thought like the case is going to be cam or whatever, and then I'm sure there's a different way to control this, different way to control other shit. Like,
Yes,
It's very confusing.
This gets controlled by these. How? I don't know. 'Cause I threw them in the trash. So I'm just like, it's bad enough that I can't turn the lights off. So here we are.
I think we got another piece of shit screw here.
Yeah, sometimes they don't cooperate. Sometimes the standoff's a little off center, and it's just annoying. When it comes to screws this small, like being off like the littlest bit of an inch can make the difference.
You want to see if you would agree with that?
Not too much. Still got a little ways to go. It might just be fighting you, because like I said, it could just be as simple as it's slightly off center.
Okay, the screws.
enjoyable stream content. Screwing in screws.
You'd be surprised. People love to watch people get frustrated. Some people struggle screwing in screws, and there's people like me who suck at video games. Apparently, you can tilt Ninja by doing an emote. Like, he shouldn't have streamed that, man. Every tournament from here on out, he gets shot at. People are just gonna emote.
Shit.
Well, fortunately, this is why we have a large bag of screws.
Yeah, should we try a different screw?
Cannot
Or try a
hurt
different,
to try.
try a different person screwing?
Try that one.
Dude,
Get it in,
screw, dude. Get it in there, dude.
It's fucking one screw left.
I know, dude.
And you're screwing it all
It's
up.
fucking with me.
That sounds like it clicked in the place. That weird, because screws shouldn't do that.
Fucking screws.
Looks like you got there. Hold on. Yep, that's good.
Good enough? Great. Alright.
Woo!
It's
Alright,
now you
Warzone
can
time, huh?
Not yet.
get close. Alright, so now you can go about this a few different ways. I would say stand it up. Make sure your motherboard doesn't rattle around when you stand the case up first.
Okay. Let's try not break anything.
You'll be setting it right back down, but you just want to make sure it doesn't lean, doesn't rattle, doesn't make any sounds. And I didn't hear anything, so sounds solid. Alright, and just lay that right back down. So from here, what you want to do, you can...
Do we need these things?
to control the RGB on this, yes. How? I don't know. But
Okay.
I usually don't mess with the RGB too much.
Weird. HDD LED? I don't even fucking know.
That's wild. Alright. What do we do next?
So, like I said, there's a couple things. It depends on what worries you the most. Do you want to have your expensive graphics card sitting here on the table out in the open? Or do you just want to get your power supply in because it's going to be the bigger pain in the ass?
Your call. I don't know.
Alright, so for me, because there's less table clutter, I would just put in the power supply.
Okay. So we gotta take this off.
So you actually need to remove the back panel.
This guy.
Yes. Gently move the power cables from this.
Alright.
And you can sit right over here, away from the chaos.
There's that. There's this. There's
So
that.
in this case, you will need to stand your case back up, obviously.
We don't need this box right now. Let's stand her up. That's a huge bitch!
That's a huge bitch, dude. I don't know how that's gonna sit on there.
The case I have is like thinner, but it's taller. The thing comes up to like here. On the
Right.
ground, my case comes up to like my thigh. It's
Oh my God.
ridiculous.
That's a huge bitch!
It's got 200mm fans in the front. They're literally like this big. Just as big as my head. I'm just like, you know, I am happy to receive this case. So
Alright.
I didn't pay for it.
So, are there screws?
So every case
With this
manufacturer,
back panel.
yes, that back
Okay.
panel. Every manufacturer is going to do it a little bit differently. The cheaper the cases, the more standard it will be. NZXT is known for kind of doing their own thing.
Aha! There's a button. There's a very nice button. Lit. I don't know where you should put this. You want to throw that over there?
So before you put in your power supply, make sure every cable you could possibly need is plugged into it. So you're going to have one SATA cable.
Okay.
Because it has multiple heads. You won't need too many excess cables there. Make sure, I'm looking at
How's the coil?
it's a SATA. I believe you'll need another SATA for RGB. And this is Molex, you can pretty much throw that in like a museum.
Should I pull some of this stuff out or not?
Alright, so fortunately all this stuff is nicely cable managed because you have spent the extra money to get this convenience. Nice little Velcro loops. You can kind of undo. And let the cables kind of fall wherever they fall. And we have there we go. So this is your front I/O.
Yeah.
Good to just kind of leave those there for a minute.
I know that I have to take this off of this case because it's
Yeah,
NZXT and they screws onto there and then you put the thing back in.
Yes.
So.
So you slide the power supply in first. I would say at least hook up the SATA cable first so all your cables are in.
Yeah. I
So-
think I could be wrong on this, but I think this actually shoves in through this way on this case.
It can. It can go through the side or the back. Make sure your fan is pointing downward. You want it to be able to pull in air
Yeah.
rather than fresh air from the outside rather than hot air from inside the case.
Right. So let's do this, and then if we put this guy. Should we do this? Is there? There's got to be other screws though that came with the thing.
Well, so let me see these just to be sure.
Yeah, because those go on the. Yeah, what happens is that bracket bolts onto here. This was specifically the guy was dealing with an NZXT case. That bracket bolts onto here with these like somewhere in here, you know, or something like
Yeah,
that.
that screws into
And then
the case.
that screws into the case, so you could pull the whole thing out and then just thumb screw it back in.
Yes,
But I don't know where those screws are.
I do.
Good. Perfect. Perfect. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Alright.
Those are threaded properly. Just had to make sure. Every now and again you get like small little imperfections with cases. You gotta check them, but that's good.
I think it was this way.
It should line up to the holes
Oh,
in the
yes,
power
yeah.
supply, so you
These
can
people,
see.
they love doing stuff that's just like slightly out of the, like out of exactly symmetric.
Yeah.
So you can't fuck it up.
Yeah. As long it doesn't like ruin the aesthetic much at all, but
Yeah.
it prevents you from doing something stupid.
Yeah, you don't even like notice it.
But it's very important for computers that you don't have the ability to mess something up.
Yeah.
So electronic currents are nothing to fuck with.
So this was something that I didn't understand at first, but I guess I probably understand now. A fully modular doesn't have any cables like baked into it. Like
No.
if they're not coming out of it, like you physically put every one in there, so you just have maximum like customization, I guess. For the most
Yes, and the benefit is if a cable ever dies, you can replace it, or if you need longer cables, shorter cables, you can order them personally, and they'll arrive to whatever specification you're looking for. I have a mini ITX fully modular power supply that I need to order extended cables for my specific situation. For you, because you have a regular ATX power supply, you have all the ATX cables, so for you, you won't have this issue. But yeah, it's intended to be fully customizable.
Huh?
What do you think?
No.
You like that? You like that mic?
Yeah.
I'll sell it to you.
HyperX.
$200.
Why the hell would you sell it?
Make money out of it.
Aren't you using it?
We're using it right now.
That's why you
But
said
I'll sell it to you.
it. Right now. Take it off right now.
$200.
This is Joe Rogan from the Joe Rogan podcast.
Oh man.
I'm convinced that man lost all of his hair from all of the like just ridiculous stuff that he's had to listen to on that show. He'll have like genuinely like really cool people on, and then he'll also have crackpots on, just absolute nutcases.
I was thinking about that the other day. I would love to see. I was gonna look up like Joe Rogan podcasts where he like argues with somebody because I haven't actually seen too many. Because I only watch the people that I know. Yeah. So.
If you want a good one, he actually, and not to disrespect the man's work, because he ultimately has done a lot of good for humanity,
Yeah.
but he had Neil deGrasse Tyson on.
Oh yeah.
What? dick. What an absolute dick Neil deGrasse Tyson is.
Really?
Oh my god. Like,
I might have seen it, but I don't remember.
unforgivably rude. Like,
Jesus.
it's just like, look, man, I don't care what ridiculous astrophysicism nonsense that, like, you know, people spout and that you're mad about it. I get it, because it's your line of work. But
that keyboard.
Interesting.
people, you know, at some point, you need to come in here and not just scream at people.
Yeah, I feel you. So, question about this. So, we have the motherboard. We have. Is that all the motherboard?
Yes.
Yeah. We got the CPU. We got another CPU for all the shit on the CPU, I guess, and shit. This one's the graphics card, I believe, or something. Do we need more cables? Is basically what I'm saying.
Yeah, you'll need one more SATA cable at least
This
for
guy.
your drives.
This
Yes. I believe your RGB functions through SATA too. So you will also need another SATA cable for RGB. I think Molex is completely excluded from this, which is good because it's a really old, outdated thing. They give it to you because you spent $100+ for the nice power supply, but
So pop this guy in SATA 1.
yes. And I believe you'll need a second SATA, as I said, for the RGB. I'm not sure yet. I haven't looked at it. Alternatively, you could just not use the RGB. It's a lot of cable clutter to do RGB. So it depends how much do you want, like, bright shiny lights. It's up to you.
I mean, I would like them, but I don't know. The RGB is confusing me because there's so many places it seems like there's fucking RGB going.
Oh, yeah,
like it
it's
seems
like
like it's in the case because it's the eye. It's apparently I can deal with I can change the fan speed too from that camp software or some shit.
It's 27 different, like, connectors that also need to be connected to a hub so that they can be synced together, and then that needs, like, multiple connectors.
Jesus.
It's something you can do. I avoid RGB at all costs. My case has it on the front fans because I literally can't turn it off. That's it. You know, it's a little weird because at nighttime I like let my system kind of run and do certain things,
Yeah.
and as I'm laying there, I can see like my ceiling goes like purple, orange, red, blue.
Can't turn it off. Here's an interesting question for you, as I just plug in this one to SATA 2, I suppose.
It's weird that you would write the answer to an equation like that. I didn't know that 8 is equal to D.
Oh yeah, it's a dick, dude. Random question that I have, that I think we might somehow get slightly fucked on for the time being. It's got this Type C in here, which I actually don't know how I could ever really use that per se, but I think that the header, like it said something in the PC part picker that the motherboard doesn't have the appropriate headers for that. So do I need like an adapter or something if I wanted to use that?
Yeah, you would likely need an adapter. For something like USB Type-C on a front panel, I don't know how much that matters to you,
I don't think it really does. It's just something that was there.
but everything for your front I/O, it's going to require your motherboard to have it, so you would need an adapter if such an adapter exists. That I'm not even sure of.
Okay.
So, yeah. Now that you're, because you have the back plate screwed on, you are right, it would have to slide in directly from the back that way.
Just push all the cables through and slide this bitch in there.
So you push the cables through up and out this side.
It's a lot of cables, dude.
Yeah.
That's a lot of cables, and we don't even have like a bunch of parts in here. Though.
No, it's the reality of dealing with higher end hardware is ultimately you're gonna need a little bit more power.
Need that juice. Need that juice, man. I gotta tell you, if that thing is still running, that's fucking impressive.
Yeah, still running. Oh, we actually have more chat. Oh, hey, other George is here. Bro, you're at his house? That's illegal. You're illegal. You caught me. This is the other dude. I'm assuming the dude building is Mark. Yes, this dude building is Mark. Don't short your motherboard like my dumbass did. Sure won't.
Oh, we already tried that. Shorted it to turn it on.
Yes. Nice.
It's not very comfortable.
No, they're
Yeah.
actually just racing seats.
Yeah, that chair fucking sucks. That's the next upgrade if I am willing to spend money on it, but
Racing chair, gaming chair, very overrated.
yeah, would not recommend. 0 out of 10.
That's what one of my friends said that too. They said just buy like an office chair from.
Herman Miller.
Yeah, that's the company.
Yeah,
That
they
one.
make
Yeah.
quality stuff.
Yeah, $1,500 chair.
He said he bought a $300 one.
Yeah,
you can definitely get them secondhand for that much. Yeah.
some of them are expensive, sure, is true, but gaming chairs are just not particularly well.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
Nice extended shit. Like if I put like a blue UV light, I wouldn't see any like
Oh no.
specimens on this.
I don't know. Maybe. The other thing though about that is, I've sold so many chairs on Facebook Marketplace. I say so many, but I mean like every chair that I have, people just buy on Facebook Marketplace. It's weird. And that one was only like $100.
I've seen
So-
these ones. Like,
It's not a good chair,
well,
but it
not
was
this
cheap.
one- Not this one, but like Secret Lab or whatever that company is.
Yeah. Isn't that what, autonomous or something?
There's quite a few of them.
Yeah.
As anyone who has the blueprints to a bucket seat race car chair can make one of these.
We got a
China
dust
for
thing. We
10
got a
bucks.
dust thing. I like that. I like a little dust.
No, you
Dust
can get them
collector.
from China for $10. Come with the side of Corona.
Side of Corona, like it's at a restaurant. All right, what do we do
So
next?
we can all piece
Manufactured in Wuhan.
All right, so what's next?
Fucking
That's
turn it
up.
on, dude.
Everything
Turn
is
it on.
everything is all screwed in.
I screwed these in. Should I tighten them more?
No, they should be firm. As long as like you can't turn it with your fingers, you're good.
Okay. Well, they are thumb screws, so maybe I should tighten them a little bit. Because I only tighten them to thumb tightness. That's alright.
So, what you need to do from this point forward, you have to look at the layout of your case and decide which way is the best way to route your cables. Fortunately for you, you have SSD mounts here on the back. That's where your SSDs are going to go. So you don't have to actually route your SATA anywhere.
Lit.
So you come to the front here, and you look like, all right, here's my 24 pin. I got to pass it through this cutout somewhere,
Yeah.
up and over. Your CPU, like all your headers for your front I/O, that's all down here. So you route those cables through this hole
Yeah.
and this hole.
Yeah.
Your CPU power up here. You're gonna route those cables up through here.
Mm-hmm.
Once you know where everything goes, you just simply pull the cords up through and plug them in.
Random question for you.
Yes.
I think I have a shit ton of 2.5-inch things. Would you recommend putting them here instead?
You can put them wherever you feel like. That is the cool thing about a case like this, is that once all of your major components are installed, your drives are always your last things you put in because they're the easiest. You get to look at the layout and figure out where you want to put them.
All right. So we do route the cables, GPU, drives.
Yes.
All right. Let's try to figure this biatch out. I am trying to get rid of some of the clutter. So
It's understandable.
that's good enough. All right. So first one probably go big motherboard because I know that one's got to go way up there. So
Also, yes, detangling them will help your cost tremendously.
yeah. Okay. So it's got to go in here. So would you recommend like through this thing somehow?
You would actually, so just to show you, kind of passes up and through. Like that.
Awesome.
I might have it facing the wrong direction, but you get the idea.
Yeah, it's just a
Yeah,
bunch
it's
of-
facing the opposite side, so kind of gotta gently pull it back through. Kind of just flip it around.
yeah, there's more clearance there at the top.
Yeah.
Would you do it like that, or do you think we need to bring it out more?
It should. Is right here. Oh, did I?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because
So
like it might not make the. So if we go like this or some shit.
yeah, you have to pull it through a little bit more. Sure.
I don't know.
And I'm just gonna make sure you end up twisting it because I may have put that in slightly off. So let me see the head right here. Yeah. Okay. So what I did there causes a little unnecessary bending. So instead, yeah, because it's coiled up. All right. You need to go through like this, right? It needs to enter that way.
Mm-hmm.
Routing cables is tedious because you have to optimize exactly how you do your layout. It's like a slight bend to this. Nothing necessarily. You can really do for what is limited space in the case. Oh, am I stupid? Am I just dumb? Is that what this is coming down to?
What's that?
What? Yeah, no, I'm just overcomplicating it. Mike's sitting here worried about, like, is that the absolute perfect angle? Not realizing that the cable itself is designed to do that part for me. It's just a clearance issue mostly. I'm trying to get this cable up and through.
Do you think,
Alright, so try to my comment. The cable is proper length. It's just a thick boy, and that little red NZXT tab is doing its job. It's just not something I'm used to working around. Okay. Will we have enough length to do that though? So slide it down and should pop right into place. Okay, so I did this one. I robbed you of the experience. But okay.
It's all good.
And
all
just
good.
kind of give it a gentle tug, make sure that it doesn't wiggle, doesn't pop out.
are these like cable management like channels in this
Yes, that's exactly what they are.
thing? Okay.
They've done a lot of that for you already, actually.
Okay. So what would you go next? Like the headers?
Motherboard power, simply because it's in a totally different location.
Okay.
So you want to get as much of the cables plugged in as soon as possible before you have to deal with crowding. That way you don't have to sift through a bunch of them. You can just sift through like the few things left undone.
Okay.
So you look for your CPU power right here, and you want to route it up through the top. And this one you can do very easily on your own.
Where's this one go?
Routes up through this top part here, and then right there.
This guy.
And you're going to have your two different CPU powers. So you have your 8-pin, and then you'll have your 4-pin.
Okay.
And this cable's got quite a bit of length on it, so you can comfortably get this done.
Maybe that's what that's for. Maybe.
That's exactly what they're for.
Alright, so I can go just this one then.
Or either of them?
It doesn't really matter which one you plug it into. You could just do your 8-pin now, and it's fine. They all get the same power. 1 or 2 is mostly just arbitrary. Yeah, the bending of the cables is always like the frustrating part.
Yeah. Let's see. So sure on this size. As long as they're strong enough to not break.
looks okay.
I think it's in. Interesting.
Just get a quick glance at it. I'll let you know. Yeah, those are both in. You're good.
Right.
And you just do the same thing with the last one. It's a little bit of a pain in the ass. Some more cables you have to go. So and then you have to kind of fight for space with the other cables.
Yeah. So leave this guy, leave one of these guys up,
Yeah.
and then leave this right in here. Where did this fucker go? Is that okay, you think?
Yeah, just push a little bit more. Yeah. That'll look. My fingernail.
Mm.
May not look even, but it feels even.
That's impressive.
The camera's still on.
That's really impressive.
Alright, looks good. Looks good. Alright.
Awesome.
So now you just simply cable manage where you can. It's not always going to fit in absolutely perfectly. But you kind of just put these in through here. Stuff. Zip ties are nice. There's this Velcro here too. Which
These are so nice with the Velcro.
yeah.
Such nice people to include Velcro like this.
Well, you pay this much for a case. They owe you something. There's only so much value you get out of metal and plastic before it's just redundant.
Stupid design.
I don't know. Alright, we can, just as long as the back thing fits on, we do that. We'll figure it out. Okay, so this guy.
That goes to the graphics card, which I don't have installed yet.
Okay.
So now here's all your front I/O.
Okay.
This is the biggest pain in the ass for all of this, and you will need a flashlight.
Okay.
So we're gonna unleash the mess of cables. There's your front I/O.
I'm actually getting ready to finish.
Not gonna lie, kind of sad. The chair is black and white while the gaming case is black and red. But that's just me being weird as always. Yes,
that?
you are very weird.
What's that?
Black and red?
Yeah, no, are we commenting on the chair in the case?
Yes.
Yeah, the chair is gonna get thrown in the goddamn trash. That's what's gonna happen. Yeah.
Which is Facebook Marketplace, because
Everything else is black and red.
so your front I/O, pretty much all of it is these things along the bottom. So you're gonna be routing these cables up through here.
Yeah.
Okay.
How you do that is gonna be depending on where the layout is.
Okay.
Some of these are a lot more simple than others.
Okay.
So like this one's super easy. This one might actually come up depending on. And that might actually be up here. So we can slide this up. That should hang out right there. And then,
Oh, is that one right below the motherboard thing?
yes. The little arm, I've never actually worked with it. It's like an NZXT special thing there. I've never seen other case companies do that, but actually I think I understand what it's there
A
for.
little
It's,
color divider?
yeah, I think it's there to like keep cables pressed down for cable management purposes.
Yeah.
This one's real easy, just slides right on in. Boom, and that's your front USB.
Is that it?
Yep.
Okay.
And you, like with any cable management, you just want to pull your cables through. And just make sure that they're taut. You don't want to pull too hard, but kind of reduce as much of that cable as you can.
Alright.
Yeah, looks good.
What did you say next?
So pretty much it doesn't really matter what the order is. Now just for RGB. So
Okay.
here is your secondary USB 2.0s, which are also on the. I think it's on the front side of the case. Should be. Yeah. Okay. Here is the front panel connectors. So we'll route this one through. Right? This one's pretty simple. There should be somewhere on your motherboard that front panel connectors are supposed to go into, which is super nice, by the way. Front panel connector cables almost always come separate. The fact that you have them, did I route that correctly? That actually route that through the, nope, put that in the hard drive bay. Oops. Alright, so there you go. Normally these are all separate connectors and that's a pain in the ass, but you're looking for F panel connectors. For CPU fan. Okay, so somewhere in here. Now how it lines up depends on the layout of this. So we're gonna take a peek at holes. And so you see how it's a 9 pin, right? Not a 10 pin?
Yeah.
There is a way that it lines up in here.
Looks like it goes like this.
I think. Does that look right? That looks like a 9 pin.
Then you just kind of give it a push. There you go. Front panel installed.
Cool.
By the way, so NZXT, that's fucking genius. Every company that makes cases needs to do that because that is the hardest fucking part of any cable is plugging in those dumb front panel connectors.
So what did that just do?
That gives all of your buttons and such up here, gives them their power.
So you think the USB-C too?
Possibly. We'll see. It can't hurt to try it. I mean, if it's not plugged in, it's not going to do anything. So, and then you have your HD audio, which most people would argue isn't particularly needed these days, but for you who probably doesn't care too much about studio music recording kind of stuff, it'll be fine. So somewhere on your motherboard they'll say HD audio. That's all we're looking for. Sometimes they hide it in weird places.
What the fuck? Maybe we should look at the manual.
Yeah, sometimes I believe.
It's got a weird layout to it.
So it's right here.
Oh, is that it?
Yep.
Oh, that is it.
Once again, the nice functionality of like having slightly off center or slightly asymmetrical things benefiting you
Yeah, let's route it.
through a different hole. Yeah, good call.
Fucking cable management.
It's the tedious part. It's always the big pain in the ass.
With that desk too, you wouldn't think of that. Like it's like, oh well, that's cool. Have a standing desk. Well, I also need to make every goddamn wire, come into this cable management tray behind the desk, so it doesn't, get messed up. You go up and down.
Yeah, looks like it's in. Maybe a little slightly off, but looks good.
Cool.
Like I said, between you and me, cable management is the most annoying thing. Alright, so this is USB 2.0.
Okay.
We're going to be looking for, probably route this through another hole possibly too, but we're looking for USB 2.0 somewhere.
Does it actually say that shit? That looks like it, maybe, but does that actually say? It says USB 78? USB 910? That's weird.
Yeah, higher end motherboards will possibly have different names for their layout.
Okay.
Not that this isn't like a higher end case or anything, it's just they're using standard terms, whereas the motherboard may not be.
Gotcha. I think it's one of these,
Could be, yeah.
but I don't know.
So, this is definitely a manual situation, just to be sure.
Yeah.
I believe this is it. User guide.
How you doing, B?
Chilling.
That boy straight chilling. That boy straight chilling. Cool, this is a hell of a stream, dude.
Is there a Molex tooth there connected? Might need that, might not. Zip ties.
Yeah.
Man, that's how you know if somebody's like built a computer before. Is like how many zip ties they keep on him normally. It looks like case manufacturers are kind of getting the memo. They're like, fuck, we better give these people some goddamn zip ties.
Alright, so it looks like, let's look at the other ones too. It looks like.
Provided you some. Oh, that's wild. Why is this in here?
What is that?
This is for your headphones. Actually.
Weird. This I think we're good on the front panel, and then the audio, I think that was right. And I think these are our USB.
Yep, that's exactly what they are. USB.
So there's 2 of them, I guess?
Yeah, you could pick and choose whatever one. Really, it doesn't matter.
Okay. I don't like when they give me options.
It gives me anxiety. Alright. Looks like we're good there.
So the only things left, this is for RGB. This
Does that plug in the motherboard?
No, this will plug into a different header, which is, like I said, part of the pain in the ass with RGB. So here's the thing, you could just leave all that stuff just in there.
Yeah.
Don't touch it. It'll be far less cable mess if you do. If you absolutely have to have the RGB, you can do that. I'm going to tell you right now, though, that I am not familiar with... Oh, they actually... Alright, so the thing I mentioned about NZXT earlier and why this is genius, right?
Yeah.
I did not realize this was in here. This is really cool. Alright, so this is what front I/O headers normally look like. Look how small that thing is. You can't grab that. Like, trying to get that
So
little
what the fuck
thing
is
on
that
a
thing
needle.
for?
It's
in case you wanted to use it?
Yeah, in case you have a particular layout. So this is for certain motherboards
Yeah.
that don't have a full 10 pin. So this is for those 6 pin ones. But see, they did it though. They reduced this to a 6 pin, but they didn't hold it together like the other thing. It's such a pain in the ass. I hate working with those.
So we don't need that.
No.
Okay.
It's for other motherboards.
Cool. So we don't need that. Is this just like an
It's
extra?
literally for your headphones. So like
Like
old,
up here.
Yeah, old style headphones that have like a mic in and a headset in. You plug that in, it makes it one cable. You plug it into here.
Oh, so it's a total like novelty luxury item.
Yeah, that
they didn't have to include, but they're nice to include it.
No, and it's so out of place because I don't know why you would like. Oh, and for your computer case, here's a headphone adapter. Not sure why that exists.
Jesus. Well, that's nice though. Alright, so let's try to keep track of stuff we don't need. We don't need these 2 things. I'll just.
Well, you could have that if you have a mix amp gaming headset.
Yeah, I mean, if you do,
I do have one.
So
it's just weird to include with a computer case. That's all I got to say. It's not that it's not useful, but so GPU, you can put that in now. So here's here's another thing. So you gotta figure out where your GPU lines up. So these 2 right here, these number 2 and number 3, you unscrew those, they come out. Then when you remove those, you can plug in your GPU. And then you screw them in to the metal plate on the GPU to keep the GPU stable.
Gotcha.
So leave the top lane in.
Yes, leave the top lane in. Because you only have a 2-slot card, not a 2.5.
Oh, what the fuck?
Mark, how bad do you think traffic is gonna get?
To go back to your house?
Yeah.
Probably not that bad. Everybody's still inside. I haven't sat in traffic in months.
I think your boy came for the food.
Me?
Yeah.
No, I want to see this. But I do have to
We
pick
get
up
you
Jan at 5. So, I want to know how bad traffic gets.
What time is it?
4.
Yeah, we actually. What?
Are these yours?
I brought
No, there
this.
is. Yeah, the motherboard manufacturer provided zip ties, which is new. I wouldn't know do that. as technology improves, the little niceties of these companies, I'm shocked.
I'm shocked. Alright,
This is
So-
fuck, dude.
this way. What?
Soundproofing.
Yeah, it was on the wall and it all
I know.
fell off,
I've
so.
seen it on your live
So-
stream complaining about it.
Do I have to stick this in here somehow?
Yes, it just lines up with the slot. It's usually a little easier to do it when it's facing downward, but doing it standing up's not that bad.
So just push
Yep,
it in.
you push it in. Yep, snapped in place. You're good. Now you take those same thumb screws and you screw them back in. You're gonna just kind of hold the GPU up so they can do that.
Buddy. He's a huge bitch.
The any of your friends who play Warzone on PC, you're gonna get surprised in their life. And not only am I playing this at 4K, but I'm still getting more frames in here.
He doesn't play Warzone.
Oh, but
I couldn't play
He
Warzone.
tried to run on the laptop and it wouldn't work.
I'm gonna need a controller though if I do play anything.
What do you mean? You have a keyboard and mouse, dude.
I can't do
it's actually not as bad to learn.
It's horrible.
that.
I think I learned it's.
Oh
Stop
my.
it. What is this?
My mouse has 32 buttons. That's an SSD. That's actually, we're gonna need that here in a minute.
That's
Yeah.
why I grabbed it.
Thanks, bud. I always trust you to use your clairvoyance to help us out.
Alright,
Something
we're
with
starting to
this
look like a
right.
thing, dude.
I tried to open that big super ghetto. It didn't work.
Starting to look like a thing, dude. You
Oh,
need a
okay.
knife? It's one right there.
Please do. I don't have fucking nails.
Alright, so these are also extra now, right?
Yeah, you put those in your stash of excess. If you ever want to sell the case or whatever, if there ever comes a day, you'll want that. So CD drive. This is a frisbee or coaster, however you wanna.
That's tough, dude. It says tough.
So I have a question about this.
Yeah.
So I know that you said I should install Windows on this.
Yes.
Probably your recommendation.
Yes.
What I would like, and I guess this isn't really a question for now, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. What I would love, if that's the case, I really am against having two drives, just because I think it's annoying to like have to, have two drives, like save shit in one place, right? So I think what I'm gonna try to do, and maybe you've done this before, is like hide it. You think it's a possibility to like hide it?
What do you mean?
Like in the software, like in the OS?
Yeah.
like,
Okay.
hide
So very simple. Really easy to do. So you have both your drives. That's just your Windows drive.
Yeah.
When it pulls up on your thing, it'll just say C, right?
Yeah.
Just simply keep it minimized at all times. You'll see the label for it, but as long as you never pull it open, it won't save anything.
Okay.
And this is your actual mass storage. The reason why two drives is beneficial, almost every computer runs on two drives, is because the drive that you save data to, while it's also running Windows, it does affect performance in some way. Now, whether you want to consider it a meaningful way is up for debate, but it does affect performance.
Yeah.
So you already have the two drives, right? And like realistically, getting rid of like the 120 gig for like $20, like
Yeah, it's probably marginal benefit.
So I would say, no matter how marginal people might argue that the benefit of having two drives for your operating system might be, I would say that like you're already like over 3 Gs. Like how much is saving $20 really gonna matter whenever you're possibly hindering your performance?
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
You know what I just realized? Just random thing. This fucking motherboard has Type-C
In the back,
in the
yeah.
IO. That's crazy. Oh, sorry. I blinded you. Okay.
All good.
Alright, so what do we do now?
And so you kind of just figure out where you want to mount your drives.
Okay. I kind of want to just do it in the front. But I don't know. Is that yucky? Is that not a cool thing to do?
So
Am I not going to be part of the cool kids club if I have WD sitting here?
I don't think people will care. See, that's the thing, is they're going to be like, oh, look at this guy with his front mounted hard drive. So you're just like, do you know what's in here?
Yeah, they think you're a bot.
Could put them in the back.
So
is this another one?
yes, there's
Jesus
another tray.
Christ.
Yeah, they gave you like 7 mounting options. I'm pretty sure there's mounting options down here in the power supply bay.
I'm just gonna get a bunch of fucking hard drive mounts. Alright, well, if I don't put them in here, I could take these out, right?
Yeah, you could. I think they just clip in.
Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly what they do. They clip in. These go back. Alright.
So it's alright. We'll probably put them in the back anyway.
If you figure out where you want to put them, then you just simply screw them in. It's real simple. Do you have your USB drive for Windows?
Oh, didn't make that. We probably should have made that.
Super easy. It just takes minutes.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. As long as you got a USB flash drive, you're golden.
Alright. Alright, so nobody does that then? Nobody mounts in front?
I think people will mount in the front if it's like an RGB one.
Alright.
Yes, there's RGB.
Yes.
There's RGB
Yes,
power
that's RGB
supplies.
Yes, there's RGB SDs. Okay.
It's like, who would buy that? No, there's people.
there's people. Certain people. Alright. Alright, so then let's just do this. Yeah?
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Looks good to me.
Alright, how the fuck do I get that in there?
They slide in, and you just simply screw them in the holder.
Take this thing off.
Like this?
I don't know that it matters. I usually have them facing upward just so it's easy access.
Like
but
this?
yeah, ultimately it is inconsequential. Should pop right in.
Really?
And then like you need to screw them in. But if it doesn't, then they might have a slightly different way of handling this. The screws are on the okay, actually
You
you
have
do
to
need
take
to
the
unscrew
things
them, yeah.
out.
Okay.
That makes
Uh,
sense.
Yeah, I just realized they don't have the side mounting option on these ones. That's fine, it doesn't really matter. But
So you gotta unscrew it and then put it on the thing and then screw in the
yes.
Gotcha. The
And,
front was easier.
Yeah, you do have to screw these onto them too. It's a real simple process.
Those are duct tape though.
Just duct tape it.
Hey, if people do use two-sided tape because they don't like where they can mount their drives. People literally like tape them to the bottom here sometimes.
So I think this has gotta go the other one.
Yeah.
Because like it's kind of in the way.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. Okay,
So
good
it's
call.
gotta go like this.
Yeah, it's just that you could. Oh no, yeah, no, you were right.
Weird. Okay,
Yeah.
so I need the screws for the SSDs, and then we
Let's see if it's
just.
not those. Well, we'll try the fly-headed ones just because we have had no success with them already. They gotta have a place somewhere. So I would say be gentle screwing those in, as in it is plastic. So it'll either work or it won't, but don't force it.
Are you working, senor?
Me,
I think it worked.
yeah, looks good to me.
Great. Is that gonna be good?
Yeah.
That's just how it works.
Yeah, you'd probably screw in all 4 screws. It'll be a little less wonky, but
I think that was the one that goes up at the top.
yeah,
So many screws.
Yeah, those are definitely different threads. That one seemed to go in without much fuss.
So many screws. We're almost to the promised land here.
Getting close. They're actually making really good time on this. The average first computer build for anybody goes about 5 hours.
Holy fuck.
Well, I guess they're just trying to piecewise it themselves. I have a professional here.
Professionals, rough. Technically, I have been paid to do this, but let's not smoke screen the people here.
Okay, so just like that. So, let me take this guy out.
The nice thing about like Windows is once it realizes you want to save pretty much all of your stuff to your 2 terabyte hard drive, it'll stop asking you about the other one.
Nice.
Alright, so if I wanted to put this here, I need a line, this and be on ship.
And just screw it. It's a little off though.
There we go. Nice. Oh, I guess you technically don't need to screw, but we will screw it in just to be safe.
Less screws you have kind of laying around, the better.
Definitely. Oh boy. Oh yeah. Alright.
Alright. There's that, some of these guys. Alright, so Dave, I'm gonna ask you a question here. You're gonna yell at me. If I wanted to do the RGB, how would I do that?
Well, you would, that's gonna be a YouTube guide, 'cause I don't fuck with it.
Yeah.
I don't mess with it. That is just not in the realm of my knowledge.
I feel you.
So it's even if I wanted it to help, it would kind of be useless in that endeavor, as I don't even have the RGB set up on my own computer.
I got you.
Granted, not really breaking my heart, but
Mm-hmm.
hey, so the flathead screws were worth something.
How many things do you see on there that are RGB? Is there like a bunch of little?
Alright, so none of your fans are, which makes sense. You have a closed off front panel, people really wouldn't see them. Your CPU cooler is RGB, your motherboard has some RGB. I don't believe your GPU is, which is fine. This is going to be rainbow puke unless you set it up to not be. I honestly, like I said, I use a water cooler, so mine is just permanently set to purple. I actually don't see a whole ton of RGB here.
I think the case has RGB though.
It might.
Cause like this thing up here. There's like a. Is there a thing here?
There.
This thing
is
is
a
like
thing.
the NZXT.
Oh, I think it's actually just an RGB hub.
Yeah, it's a hub. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's for your devices. I don't know if the case itself it just has a hub for anything you have that might be. Because typically on RGB fans and stuff, they're clear so you can see the lights through them. This should pop right back in. Yeah. Sound good to me.
Woo!
Having them in the back, considering they don't match the color scheme, probably helps a little too.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
No, you can just cut it right.
Just fucking cover it. All right. Wow. SATA cables connected to that.
Yeah, so you'll have your motherboard power, which will run straight to these, and they look like this.
Okay.
And they slide into the long flat part at the bottom. Then the other cables that you'll need is SATA connections to the motherboard directly. Those cables are somewhere. Is this you? No, that's not you. But they usually come with the drive or with the motherboard.
There's a lot of fucking cables.
Here they are. And one is angled, which is strange, but here we go.
Maybe I should have. Maybe it would have been better to put that in before I fucking did that.
Hopefully they are long enough. They should be. Yeah, they'll easily be. I don't know why I was worried.
So, real quick though, this is going to the GPU, right?
Yes.
So should we thread it back up?
You might want to route that, just to be sure. Whichever one feels comfortable to you. I think this is probably the easiest option. But you have quite a few cables.
Right here?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, actually, you can route it up through here. That's nice. They thought of that. Hold on. Through the hard drive bay and up. Oh, that's so much easier. Now, if I just don't get tangled up in other cables. Yeah, that was the one pain in the ass about like. So you try to route as much as you can first. Although it's kind of a note. That is so nice.
Nice. Alright.
Now you don't even have to worry about bending your cable.
Alright, so what was the thing again? Does it matter which one is in the
No, obviously, like, there's a nicer configuration aesthetically, and that you just kind of keep it like an elbow. But you theoretically, it really doesn't matter which one you plug in as long as you, put it in the correct way, which would be very hard not to.
Okay.
You would be breaking something to not to. Wow, this thing kind of just sits on your desk. Probably worth installing. What the fuck?
So like this one?
Yeah, the clip should be pointing downward. Yep, that popped in. We
Just
kind
leave
of
that
just,
down?
yeah, it just kind of dangles. Not really much you can do about it.
Is that the right?
Yes.
Oh, dude. That's the GPU fully snapping.
Huh? May have been hanging a little bit. And sometimes the cables are just little bastards. Can't really do much about it. That's it.
Nice.
Okay, so I just kind of pull this through. Remove as much of the cable exposed in the case as possible. Really simple part. One of these is probably just for RGB. I told you if you want to install it just in case. You won't need both of these cables for this. So whatever one you want to use, yeah, you just kind of pick it. The other one can kind of just hang out in here.
Okay. For these.
Yes.
The drive.
So kind of just go right in there. The one nice thing about the ATX case is all the extra space you have for things like that.
Okay, so one of these.
They both kind of just plug in respectively to the
I guess.
yes.
So was there a reason there's three?
Yeah, it's just so you could have 3 drives if you wanted. The fully modular cables are a lot nicer. They give you all kinds of flexibility for that purpose. You may need to like kind of tilt this, so just kind of.
You want me to hold the light?
If you want, yeah.
He's helping.
There's like 2.
Jesus, Dave. It's heavier than expected.
There's 2 little guys down here.
Yeah, so the long flat one's for these, and then the other one is for these cables I pulled.
Okay. It's a 3-man job.
No, it's just make sure that the little lip is correctly pointing the right direction.
Yeah, I'm not sure if
You
it's...
normally struggle putting it in there.
You can
Yeah, just set it back down for a second, or we'll do it a different way. We'll take this back off.
well, yeah, you can do that. Save yourself the frustration.
Yeah. Should have done that.
Could have. I didn't think of it, so.
All good. No problem.
Here, drive's dead. Good thing it doesn't have any moving parts. Okay.
Easier to finagle.
Aha.
Now,
Perfect.
this
So this
outboard
guy.
one is what I'm concerned with. How does this fit in? I don't know. Plug that in. I want to see if that interferes at all with how it mounts. It just might.
Is this
Yeah, either side can go in. I just want to see if on this side if it interferes.
probably will.
I think it's safe to say it may.
Alright, yeah, so pull it out. You just simply reverse the side. Flip it over.
Awesome. Awesome.
Nice thing about Seda is that either side will work. It's generally good practice to have like the elbow shaped one in its correct spot on the back, but it's not mandatory. It's not going to ruin anything if it's not. Just gotta figure out where your that is so nice right down here. I just
Glad I picked a good case.
yeah. Well, it's actually the motherboard in this
Oh, really?
particular situation is saving you a headache.
Fuck is the speed trap up 279?
They have
What's
a
your boy?
header for
Huh?
literally.
Boy.
Probably the same cop that sits at the left UX.
Alright, I plugged that in for you already. They have a header for every situation, every possible orientation.
So this has got to go over here.
It's either that one, or you could just skip this head and go to the other head. Yes,
Maybe we should have plugged
we've
this.
skipped the first head.
Maybe
Yeah.
we should have plugged this guy in.
Let me
Yeah.
save you some time here.
Okay. Yeah, let's flip that.
So those grip pretty tightly because if this pops out while you're operating your system, you no longer have Windows.
So the third head.
Is it oriented correctly?
Yeah.
Just might be fighting you. Like I said, cables are little bastards.
Was there another one?
This one does not have an angled head, so
Interesting.
they gave you two cables, one with an angled, one with not, under the impression that you would have a single drive. But we're just gonna use both.
Fuck 'em.
And you spend extra money, you get like all the little like quality of life conveniences. Woo! Aesthetically, too, nothing seems to be compromised here. Alright, so just make sure this is. It's dark.
Should we go? Where's it going?
So it wants to go in here because these are for angled ports, and the ones that stick outward are for straight ports.
Oh wow. Okay.
So the one thing that you deal with when you're cable managing is you will eventually get crowding, and this always ends up being slightly annoying. But okay, cool. I actually need to flip this around. This side. Things we do just gonna have like extra cable clutter so the gate. There's nothing practical about this. It's just about aesthetic. Good. Oh wait, maybe a comment. Looks like we're in.
Nice.
Cool. All right. So that is all of your significant parts. Now, need your USB drive to install Windows.
Okay.
That's pretty simple. You just hook it up to your laptop and make the boot properties.
Okay.
But
Cool. Lit. So we're pretty much there.
Pretty
Gonna do
much.
that and then boot from USB. I know how to do that and take care of all that. Let's look at this for a second.
Okay.
So the key thing here to remember is when you're going to boot from USB, to prevent it from installing Windows on your blue drive, there's a lot of ways. This is the easiest. Just don't have it plugged in.
Yeah.
But USB, plug it in, install your green drive, then plug in your blue drive, throw on all your panels, you're done.
Okay.
And there's also this thing. I would recommend just using it since you have it until you get your third-party cables.
Yeah.
But here's your stand. It's the
It's a
Wi-Fi
shark-
antenna.
It's a shark fin. What is this thing?
That is
Wait, what is your
as a
router?
replacement header. So in the same way that the other cable I showed you for your front I/O is different, that's for other motherboards that don't have 28 pins. That's for 20 pins.
Gotcha. So we wouldn't need that either.
No.
Wait, so you're not gonna hardwire it? You're gonna
No, I
Wi-Fi?
know. It's just it's also Bluetooth.
Yes.
But I wanted it to be Wi-Fi just in case.
So, if this doesn't have onboard graphics, then why does it have HDMI and DisplayPort?
Well, the CPU is what would have the onboard graphics or not. There's nothing stopping you from putting a CPU in there that does.
Oh.
So in the
So
event
if I
that
plug something in here, it's not gonna work.
I won't break anything either, but
Just one more.
just won't work.
Gotcha.
This is I'm gonna separate these just in case because this is your RGB for your CPU fan. In the event that you actually want that, just gonna put those there.
So it goes rainbow
Yeah.
because we saw it
On
turn on.
default. Yeah.
But you need that to change it.
Yeah, I believe so. Now, don't quote me on that. I can't install any software to change it as it was in my computer. But I also spent maybe 5 minutes looking for it before I said fucking Motherboard Layout.
Yeah.
And that's just
Or he needs
that.
red.
We got that NXT one that you can put pictures on the front, right?
I unfortunately could not afford the super high end nice stuff. It's a Cooler. Everything I use is pretty much Cooler Master.
I got you.
They're reliable, albeit cheap too. Their cases are nice. Their other products are so-so.
Do you?
Probably not the best to get like a so-so water cooler, but it hasn't broken yet. So
Okay. Well, this is dope.
it's pretty much done. You're just installing software at this point.
Okay. I'll probably play around with the RGB thing at some point too, because I'm a jag.
He needs it red.
I need
Yeah.
it all red.
So yeah, what's your college? You want to just knock the Windows installation out now, or is that a project for later?
I don't know. I don't know how. I think it takes a little bit to make that tool, doesn't it? Yeah.
I don't think it takes that long, like half hour tops. Probably less than that.
All right. Yeah, I can get a thing. Do a flash drive.
I think it just needs to be like minimum 16 gigs.
I think this one's 8, but I think I just did this and it worked.
As long as you have the drive for it, it'll work.
I think I can make it on there because I don't think I have any more USBs.
The backup.
The Huawei spying on us.
Wonder if it was made before they realized that they could use it to spy on people. They're just like, hey, oh fuck, wait.
Oh my god.
I got too much shit now. I got too many.
Government's gonna come to your door like, excuse me, sir. We heard you have a Huawei product.
They know.
Or do you not use this anymore?
That has an i7 too. Damn.
I wanna fuck around. This one?
Yeah.
No, I use this for mobile. That Dave wants me to keep that for mobile video editing. I don't think that I'm gonna be doing that.
Well, hey, you could sell it. I mean, if you honestly feel like you're not gonna bother with it, you could sell it.
Yeah.
But like, it is a nice laptop. Will do a lot of productivity. Has the ability to game lightly.
Not Warzone.
Play Overwatch. People like you like League of Legends and Rocket League. It'll do that, no problem.
Not Warzone.
Only thing that matters.
processor is probably good enough. It's the GPU that might be lacking. Laptops aren't really known for their high-end GPUs. Not that you can't, it's just that you have to sacrifice your firstborn son to afford ones and two.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you need an Xbox controller. I don't know if PS4 controllers can connect, can they?
With certain software, yeah, you could.
So you have to download something for it.
Yeah. Microsoft will already have drivers for the Microsoft-related products, so. Xbox is like, this is probably the last generation of Xbox consoles before they just become a service. I honestly don't see Microsoft competing with them, so because like everyone always says there's like Nintendo, which is its own thing, and then Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. Well, Microsoft is effectively PC, so it just doesn't make sense for them to compete with themselves anymore.
And because PlayStation's better than Xbox, but yeah.
Oh no. Oh no.
I mean, I'm mostly just a PC gamer these days, so.
Well, yeah, you wasted your prime on Xbox. I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ.
Hey man, there was no Halo 3 on PlayStation, you know?
It's always good to have
We
a
have to make our
laptop.
choices.
It's always good to have a laptop to troubleshoot something that happens with a PC. I like that guy.
That's Kristen. Hi, Kristen.
That's a
Alright,
good one.
Kristen. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry, Kristen.
it's all good.
Alright, let's see. English, Windows 10, 64-bit.
I appreciated Will threw in the duck emojis. Adorable little bastard. It's my emoji. I'm proud of it.
Alright, USB flash drive. Apply here. Alright.
Spread that cute little bastard everywhere.
433. Let's see. What the fuck was that?
There's my phone. I picked the most obnoxious tone I could possibly think of because there's no confusing it with anybody else's.
Alright. Fuck.
3%. 4%. Yeah, it's going pretty quick.
Let's see what we have to do here to understand curiosity, because I'm my
Tough
keyboard's
game.
RGB, you know.
Tough.
So, tough. It's tough, dude.
I have to show the camera. It's tough.
So you have just an RGB headers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Jesus
9,
fuck.
10, 11, 12
What the fuck?
headers.
Where the fuck is all that to?
This hub.
Why?
Because
There's
they
only 2 strips of RGB in here, I think.
There's
one behind this thing.
they are accounting for if you want to get RGB case fans, which doesn't make sense because you have a closed off front panel. Doesn't really make sense to get.
Oh, so I'm not gonna have to plug all this in.
Probably not. No. Like
What is this for?
That's a coaster.
It's good. It's good. Ah, shit. Will this fit on the desk is a great question.
You gotta fit in the corner.
Big ass fucking thing. There it is.
You don't have to move that laptop out of the way.
My laptop's not gonna be there. That speaker, I might end up getting different speakers.
I think
Yeah.
the speaker would still fit there.
Those speakers
There's
are
more ducks.
those speakers are really good, but they're honestly kind of overkill. And I don't want anything on the floor up there. It's a lot of cable bullshit that I don't want to do.
So this bottom of this case has quite a bit of clearance too, so you'll get a lot of airflow for your thing. No matter where you put, you probably set this on shag rug and it'd be fine. So, except the occasional toenail getting whipped up into your system.
Ew. Good thing it's got this dust thing.
You that is one thing. You will have to remember to clean your dust filters probably once every 2 months.
Okay.
You'll be surprised the amount of stuff that gets. I have a cat too, and she's miserable cleaning them, but at least once every 2 months to prevent it from getting caked on. Because after that, now you're probably restricting airflow. Does this actually go in?
Oh, maybe. I didn't think of that. I thought maybe I had to run it.
I'm very wrong.
I thought I maybe had to run it that way.
Yeah, you were right. I was not. Like what are the odds? Not very good, Dave.
It's tough.
Um,
my god. Holy shit. We should just make it a 24-hour stream at this point, I say.
Aren't you busy at 5?
Yeah, I gotta go.
He's
Probably closer to 6, actually.
This is pretty archaic. I don't know why they want.
Does
Oh,
it,
wait, unless. Oh no, actually I'm wrong.
does it go through the thing? Do you have to run this?
I thought that too, but they don't seem to fit. So like I tried to. Oh wait, maybe it's slotted wrong.
That one. Yeah, don't press this button.
Why?
Because this is what controls the light. And that like turns the circuit off somehow. Because like you could do, I don't know, there's a lot of electric shit going on, so just use the fan for it.
Come on.
Those are Philips Hue bulbs.
Did it even do anything? Or was that the
That
setting that was already on?
was brightness. You went down.
They hue the bulbs. I got your shark fin set up.
Shark fin. Nice.
It's a thing.
It's
I mean,
it's a thing, dude.
design wise, it's probably better than just having antennas, but it's
It'd be funny
definitely
if I could get like this to stick here. Get some little sticky stuff.
double-sided tape. Just
Wi-Fi 5. Should I have gotten Wi-Fi 6?
I don't know who uses Wi-Fi. Laptops, man. I don't know. Beyond that, I hate Wi-Fi so much. My computer's in the attic. My router is in the living room. I just bought a 100-foot Ethernet cable and routed that straight to the fucking living room.
Nice.
Jesus. Why don't you just buy a range extender, like a?
Because it
Range
hates
extender
Wi-Fi.
is
No, the one that you can connect an Ethernet cable to the extender, then you have a second extender that you connect to your PC through an Ethernet cable.
And then another extender.
yeah.
And then another extender.
I just bought like a $15 100-foot cable and threw it out a window. It's good, it's good enough for me, man. Maybe not as clean aesthetically, but like,
Jesus.
somebody wants to complain about my cable, well, they can buy my damn extender.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely cheaper. Although I probably wouldn't do 100 feet again. I'd probably just take it on the 75. It kind of just like hangs out my window, like all droopy and shit. And like, hope this isn't against code.
So, again to the RGB. If there's 2 strips in here, and we're not doing the fans or anything, because like just fans are just as they are. I think there's a strip here and there's a strip somewhere else or some shit. If I can figure out which ones those are, they're gonna plug into the motherboard. Where are they gonna plug into?
Yeah, well, yeah, they plug in through the hub, which is plugged into the motherboard already.
Oh, the hub
So-
is plugged in.
Yeah, so one of these. Yeah, it was one of your front IOs.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
And it gets power through SATA, which is right here. So for your RGB power, right?
Yeah.
That's a SATA, and you plug it in the same way that you plugged in your drives. It just kind of,
Oh shit.
I don't really want to have it plugged in and powering nothing, but
No, leave it in because I'm
Yeah,
gonna fix
alright.
it. It's fine.
hey,
I'm not worried about the electric. I don't play for it.
yeah, alright, well,
But that is so that's from the. I'm trying to understand like how it goes because I don't fucking understand RGB. So power supply to there, so that powered it, and then that powers. That was literally the cable for the hub,
yeah, powers the hub.
and then the hub is plugged into the motherboard.
Yeah, through these things whenever you eventually figure all your connections out. So,
Okay. So these plug in the motherboard.
well, they plug in the cables that will be plugged into the motherboard. That's why I hate it, because it's like a 17-step process.
Oh, okay. So then these ones were for the AMD.
Yeah,
So
the
they came in
CPU cooler. Yeah.
Okay. Where are the other cables going?
Somewhere. A lot of them are probably already in here.
Oh, okay. So it's just a medley of shit that I have to figure out.
Yeah, it's there. It's pretty much all here in some form or another. It just may be a massive pain in the ass. I believe.
Something's
Not
really hot over there. Is it this computer? It's hot as fuck? Could be this.
Would not surprise me if the monitor is running
The
hot.
monitor actually gets really hot.
Does
And
it?
pops sometimes.
What?
Takes
Well,
a
yeah,
while.
yeah, heat expansion causes the plastic to mold.
I don't know what that is though. I don't know. I feel like right here at my shin level is something that seems extremely hot. I don't know what it is.
Maybe it's Dave's shin radiating.
Possibly.
Maybe. Hit it. Bang.
Yep.
Oh man.
I'd be in the NBA if I wasn't so damn short. Steadily. Creating Windows 10 Media.
Alright, brother.
Well, you were here for.
How did I get out here? You were here for the fun part.
It's
Hey, Killin' Noob, follow me on Twitch.
Who?
Thank you, Killin' Noob.
Appreciate that. He's a friend of mine named George.
Oh,
So
thank you,
you
George.
have, plural Georges in the stream.
Thank you, George.
He'll be playing Warzone, George. He'll be getting backpack though.
Bat what?
Hey, it doesn't matter how many times you die, it's how many times you get out of gulag.
I don't even know what that is. Is that the bathroom?
Yeah, it's a one-on-one
Alright.
to get back in the game. Good, how are you?
That's all I got for shin exercises. If such a thing exists. Who's all still here? We have one viewer left. God, I look like a slob. Need to shave.
Alright. How are we doing? It's media.
Looks like it's done.
Tremendous.
Yep. Now I.
Stupid Windows thing. Alright, so when we do that though, we can just pop her in here. Should we plug in the power supply?
Yeah.
Is that safe?
Yeah, so all the exposed cables at this point don't really matter too much. It's everything that needs to be plugged in and could be scary is plugged in. And you could theoretically hook up this monitor. If you have a mouse and keyboard, you can take care of your small BIOS stuff right now.
Okay.
Just kind of get it taken care of and out of the way, so when you boot up Windows, you don't have to worry about fiddling with it there.
Alright, so we got that. Alright, keyboard and mouse. That's gonna be a tough one. Is that... Well, actually, no. It's not gonna be that tough. I can just wire it. But I need a cable. Yes, Dave's here. What? Probably, yeah. We're almost done. Jesus Christ. Cannot wait to move out. Okay. I think I just need a cable. I'll grab that this way here. That'll work. Alright.
So
BIOS shit.
it's relatively easy stuff. Nothing that you couldn't handle. Just if it's your first time messing around in the BIOS, you might need a little direction. But
Yeah, I'm not trying to fuck around with that. Uneducated.
Alright. So I will do this. Alright. Hopefully that works properly. Should switch it to wired mode because I'm probably gonna fuck something up if I don't do that. Alright. So power on.
you have your mouse? Or and keyboard's good. Yeah, powered on. As long as the
Ah, well, we gotta do something here. This is it. Will it blend? No, it won't.
did we?
It's broken.
Yeah, send it all back. Okay, so Me,
That's the easy one. Easy one. That's on me. That was on me.
well, that's very comforting and reassuring.
That one was on me. It was the power button. All right, take 2. Will it blend? Oh, it will blend. Holy shit.
The fan will boost up and then boost
Nice.
down. Oh, they say boost down.
Nice.
Doesn't make so much sense, but
All right, that's dope. Yeah, there's lights and shit in here.
yeah, there's a LED strip here in the back. It is set to white for some reason.
There's
So-
lights up here too. Doesn't
They, you know, the white doesn't like take away from any inside. It actually just makes it look brighter in here,
Yeah.
which I guess is nice.
yeah.
But all right, so cool.
That working?
Just getting used to this particular BIOS here. That's fine. Leave that disabled.
Is that aura? What is that? Is that the lights?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. So we could here F4 or that's not good. Oh, maybe not. It should be. Stealth mode. I don't know what stealth mode is. Come on. This is where it'd be nice to have a mouse. Because I'm
How's
not
that?
sure how to access that with a keyboard.
Is it tab?
Yeah, it might be tab. Hold on.
I could get you another. I can get another cable. Let's get another cable. Yeah. A shit ton of USB-C cables now.
I'm one of those people where, unfortunately for me, I never quite learned all the keyboard shortcuts the way the old school computer guys did it. Eventually.
Is this only Bluetooth?
Nah,
Wait, no, it's great. No, wait a second. It's Bluetooth and it's Bluetooth and dongle. I don't know if you can do.
well, you will see.
That's weird. Let's try something else. Different method.
Yeah, probably be fine.
That'll work. And then mouse over there, but we don't need it.
Yeah.
Good enough. There you
Yeah, that is what we're looking for.
DRAM.
Smaller keyboard than I'm used to. And set to auto. Exit that. Right, so, how does one get into the RAM settings? Advanced mode seems good. This is what we're looking for.
go. AI tweaker.
SATA onboard configurations. Oh, we will find out. Nope, not that one. This one. Nope. This one. Nope. No, not that. Nope. We are looking for RAM. This is all SATA stuff. Yep.
Is this how you would?
Memory frequency.
Is
Here
this how you would overclock something?
Yes. We're going to ask the RAM to run at its designed speed, or its rated speed rather. We're going to exit. And do save changes and reset. Gonna make sure it boots back into the BIOS.
Is that what that is though?
Yes.
Is that how you would overclock something?
Yeah.
You just click a button.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah. Well, it's
Is
a
this
little more.
overclocking?
Well, all right. So
This
the
is-
RAM is technically overclocked, but it's rated to run at this overclock. So,
Huh.
yes, it. No, it's still running 2656. Why? Why would you defy me? Alright, so it's. So that's your CPU. That's all looks good. There's no reason to boost up. So AI Twitter is what it was, I think. I don't want to mess with the voltages because I'm pretty sure base voltages are usually fine. Yeah, 1.35 is fine. It is set to say that it is running that way. Cool. Defaults. You know what? We'll auto it. That should be fine. Just wanted to see what that was. That's so interesting. Target DRAM frequency. Yeah, it says it's running okay. Oh wait, no, it did. Okay, now it's clocking. So now we're good. Alright, so when it boots up in the Windows, it'll be 3200.
Nice. Interesting.
So now you can power this down. I misunderstood the layout there.
Is
So-
that literally what that means, though?
Yeah.
That's like overclocking.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So the nice thing about your AMD stuff is that it itself overclocks when it needs to. So you fortunately save yourself a lot of the. Oh, they're all connected by one header. That's cool. All right. There's no AIO pump. Yeah. So all these register as a single fan. That registers as a single fan. That's cool. I actually was not aware.
So what is it?
So, see how all your exhaust fan, which is actually, that's not a 200 millimeter, I don't think, is it? It's a big ass
It's a
fan.
big bitch.
It's nice. But, yeah, so all these fans are spinning, which means these are all plugged into a header somewhere, and then they're coming up as a single fan.
Interesting.
That's CPU.
That's pretty
fans
quiet.
at this point.
I mean, I know it's not doing anything, but it's pretty quiet.
Yeah. Well, hey, it'll be even quieter when you have the panels on.
Ah, it's amazing. Where's this thing at, anyway? 84.
Come on, I believe.
Nice. Always.
This thing, this is a thin light from Huawei. Is this like older? Is this
It's a MateBook X Pro. I probably had it for like 2 years.
a pretty nice small little machine there?
Yeah, I was. Well, so I mean, like I've been using that as like my main desktop. Obviously, before I had this whole thing and the screen and everything, but like that would just sit there. Actually, well, what happened? Let me go back. I was in college and I had a 15-inch Inspiron, like special edition, like Inspiron, but it wasn't like gaming or anything like that. It was just an i7 laptop. Had that. It's kind of heavy, you know, because it was like back in, I don't know when that was, like in high school age, so like years ago. And then I was like, this is getting pretty shitty, so I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna jump to this, and that, like I thought, oh yeah, I can take this around, but no, you can't really fucking take that. I mean, you could if you wanted to, but it's not really a great idea. So that just ended up sitting there, and I was like, well, I need a laptop if I go, like when I started doing the business stuff, like if I go out and have meetings and stuff, like I need like a little something. And I was never really like a tablet guy, so I was like, you know, I'm gonna just grab something like this, and I thought that this was very similar to like a Mac in like the way that it's you know, designed, the aesthetic and everything like that, and just tiny. So I was a little concerned with getting a smaller screen like this, but I really love the form factor, and it's probably one of the best purchases I've ever made, just because it's like small and powerful. But you know, I don't do anything crazy with it. But if I need to go somewhere, then I can use it.
Does have a nice setup.
Yeah.
So,
No, I'm an AMD boy now.
Yeah. There's a lot of like back and forth with that kind of stuff. People, I say buy AMD because it makes the most sense for your money, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with owning Intel stuff.
Yeah.
there's never like an Intel product that you buy and you're like, wow, this is awful. It's just like, do you really want to pay like $100 more to get like a couple extra like clock speed? Like, for me, like everything with Ryzen and stuff has come, especially even from first generation, which was truly impressive. To have come as far as they have, and have have their architecture mature the way that it has in just a short period of time.
Yeah.
Like, I would rather somebody like, because what was the final price on that particular CPU, right?
I don't. Was it 5?
500.
Was that it? I don't know.
So
I can't remember.
Probably 500 sounds right. So I don't. I think for that's my phone. I think for Intel, you'd be paying probably close to $1,000 for CPUs spec the same way. Now it'll run better typically, but when you pay a premium for certain things, you would expect that like it would offer you more for that premium. When you're talking about a difference of like 5%, like do you really want to pay like almost 200% more for 5%? That being said, Intel has been kind of kicked around by AMD these past few years on the consumer side anyway. I expect Intel to not take it lying down. They're probably going to start releasing products that compete more favorably for them. So, I guess if people, you say one thing or the other, you'll get fanboys from either side who want to scream at you. I'm just like, guys, you're bitching about 5%. Like, 5%, y'all. Like, I promise you, if I gave you this computer and told you to like boot it up right now, but you had to like, you couldn't see what was inside it, couldn't look at the specs, you can't tell that that's an AMD or an Intel machine. You can't.
Yeah. Feel you.
So it's just nice that AMD has finally like made competitive products because they were trash for a long time.
Yeah.
So.
Jeez. Is there a way to double check like everything's good here, as far as like
looks good.
See all the components and shit?
Yeah. So in the BIOS, right now it's gonna be running at 266.6 repeating, but for everything else, it appears to be functioning pretty well. CPU temperature sitting at 53. It's not unreasonable. That's ambient room temperatures being what they are. If you had like air conditioning, I'd probably drop a good 10 degrees. So
it's over there. It's covered up by film. So okay, so right. So like in the BIOS here, like it's showing you obviously that's pretty cool. I mean, obviously it seems pretty standard, but it's cool that it just tells you. Obviously you have that chip, the RAM and everything, the fans and shit. Does it say in here like GPUs like registering and everything?
I believe you would have to go to advanced mode to check on it.
Is that in here?
It's down. Once you exit out of there, I think it's down here. Advanced is what I think you're looking for. Nope. Alright, it would be an AI tweaker then. Scroll down to see GPU. BIOS should recognize the GPU. I just don't know where it would be. Every BIOS is different, so it's just a matter of like refining stuff. I guess click main, maybe. In here, somewhere, right? Gotta be. It probably might not recognize it because we haven't had an opportunity to install your drivers for it yet.
I gotcha.
That could be why. USB flash drive is ready, so we can pull out the flash drive, plug that in, and then we'll click boot, and then we'll boot from flash drive.
Plugging in.
Then click boot.
Where's the boot button?
Top here. And then you want boot configuration. That looks good. Minimize that just to make sure that it doesn't like constantly try to. And then you're going to
Can we just
exit.
Yeah,
There we go.
restart or something.
Then save changes and reset first. just to be sure that all of our changes go through. It might actually boot from the
Yeah,
I was
USB or
gonna say
whatever,
I might just.
but
This is dope. Or we
it's
could do.
a massive 12-core processor, which we didn't think we'd ever see consumer grade.
Really?
Because we go back like 5 years, just 5 years. It was crazy to have an 8-core process with no extra threads. Like it was just 8 cores, 8 threads. Like right now you have 12 cores, 24 threads, and it's just like the leaps are crazy. You'd be spending. Oh, there you go, Windows.
I didn't realize that the splash screen is dictated by the motherboard.
Yes, actually. So enter that Windows key. Let's see if this works. I'm so curious. I want to see if that works. Oh God, I come back and Dave's Intel versus AMD rant. It's not.
It's not a rant. He says it's not a rant.
Can't be a rant unless I pick a side.
Let's see here.
Free is free, so I was willing to take free. I just don't know if it'll work.
Fingers crossed.
Well, it tries its hardest to figure out if it's legitimate or not.
Does it have all the keys built into the thing?
It actually checks Windows servers itself.
How does it?
What you do? Oh, well, probably should have put the Wi-Fi.
Should we? I could probably. Well.
Well, we just kind of screw that in. Because right now it's like trying to yell at Microsoft.
Even if it doesn't have access to. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
wouldn't I need to hook it up still?
Yeah, probably.
For
You know
what?
what? I'm not entirely sure why.
I could probably pull a. I have a switch right there. I have a switch.
Oh hey!
Did it work?
Yeah, we made it.
Is
We're here.
that legit? That worked?
Looks like it is. Looks
Unless
like
it, or did it just default to no key?
I have no idea. We'll find out. I think install Windows key. So, alright, hit close, and then we'll have to do custom install. That's all.
Okay.
Hopefully, we don't need to. We have to type in the product key.
Should we try? Do you think that it maybe that was the reason? Should I try to
Hardline it.
hardline it real quick?
Yeah, try that. Can't hurt.
Just to see.
Despite all things, 3 hours is pretty good time to be at this point.
Alright, let's try that again here. I don't know. Okay. Alright. Go blind. It's my longest stream ever. And at a better time than normal. Not 1 a.m.
Far more reasonable. Alright, is it gonna yell at us? This doesn't work. May still take a while.
What was the pop-up?
The pop-up was just terms and services or whatever. We have to hit the custom install, not the express install. I think we have to format the SATA drive first, which isn't uncommon.
Okay.
So,
Everything's on.
like I said, might take a minute because it's trying to scream at Microsoft servers. So I don't know how. Because I know the. Like I said, I know the. Alright, so now just accept next, and then we're gonna custom install. Alright, so unallocated space. Yep, that's good. Click next.
What does that actually mean? This is the.
That is the SSD that you have. That's your.
Oh, this is the USB.
Yeah. So it has a partition set aside for recovery, and then like I don't know.
All right, so we're good here.
Alright, so it'll install Windows, and you'll know if you get the watermark if it worked or not.
Okay.
Alternatively, you could always go to this PC and check to see if it's like a registered Windows. So this part should go pretty quickly.
What? Okay, so explain this to me. I got a lot of fucking power now.
Yeah,
right?
a lot.
So what should be faster? Everything.
Everything. Do any of these run on an SSD? I imagine that has to. Don't think that's got a 2.5 drive.
No, yeah, I don't know I don't know how big it is or anything. But
I mean,
here, take a look.
feels pretty snappy. Probably not a hard drive.
I can't remember, to be honest.
Where is properties? Oh, maybe if I right click the right spot.
16 gigas.
Ooh, it is a nice i7. Let's pop up the task manager.
It's a nice little machine. I appreciate it for mobility.
Oh, Samsung's an SSD. They don't like hard drives. Okay. Yeah. So basically, yes, everything will be faster. So this is running at 1.9 gigahertz, basically 2 gigahertz, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your chip at base, absolute base, is 3.6.
Christ.
It doesn't run slower than that unless it's literally doing nothing. It will also turbo up possibly as high as 4.5. So it might get a little toasty inside the machine, but with a 12-core chip, you kind of have to expect it. Mine's only like an 816, and mine like hovers around 60, in certain temperatures. Yours is a much larger package in the same, or a much larger like process inside of the same size package. So heat will be a thing. I would recommend just keeping an eye, and I'll give you the software you need for that. That's real easy. You just need Ryzen Master and an MSI Afterburner. Once you have those things, you will easily be able to monitor your computer situation at all times.
What's good numbers there? I have no idea what that means.
Alright, so your GPU starts experiencing thermal issues at around 85C. Some can go as high as 95C, but generally speaking, 85's like, you don't really want to go beyond that.
Yeah.
And your CPU temperature shouldn't go above 90. After 90, it starts what's called thermal throttling, and it'll start clocking itself down so that it's no longer heating. Because you hit a certain temperature, and then like the actual physical product starts to deteriorate. And it's programmed to know it's like, hey, we're running too hot. I'm gonna start like slowing down my clock speeds so that like I don't damage myself, which is nice, but it does affect performance. So that's why I said try the CPU cooler, see if it works.
Yeah.
If it does, great. No need to change it. If you find that you're having temperature issues, you may need to switch to an AIO. Fortunately, not hard to install. Especially because you have
radiator.
Yeah. The top of the case usually does a good job for having a place for the radiator to go. I just don't. I don't know that that's where you would want to put it. You put it in the front.
Yeah.
But either way, I think your front case fans are fine. Up here is probably good. I wouldn't see any issue except maybe clearance, but there's a lot of space here. I think you'd be fine.
Tough.
So it's gonna boot up to this here. Tough gaming. nice little Windows wheel, but
Mm.
there we go. It's starting to speed up. That will be Windows.
Mm. So like this part will be slower.
Well, this will be annoying because like it's just trying to run off of like the setup portion of it.
Yeah.
It's I wouldn't call it slower, but I mean maybe like compared to everything else you're gonna do on this,
Right.
yeah. Mostly because you're still like at the point where you don't have all your drivers and stuff installed correctly yet. So
Yeah.
once you get to that point, you have to just put on a few different softwares. GeForce Experience, Ryzen Master, I think are musts. You don't have to install Afterburner, but that's just what I use. You can. It's nice because you can overclock without having to go into the BIOS, or underclock if you wanted to. If you feel like hey, my system's running too hot, my GPU's starting to like, possibly be damaging to itself, you can underclock it even. And with a card like that, there's almost nothing you're gonna do where underclocking it's gonna cause a performance impact. So. Okay, are we there? Are we live? We golden? Cortana.
Mm. Fucking Cortana.
Always out here being a major pain in the ass, in my opinion. I disable her every time. Reboot, and then it should take us right to Windows. I don't know you. Oh, that's tomorrow. That's right.
Oh dear.
Just a moment. Yeah, where do you live?
Where do you live? Lit.
I definitely live in the United Arab and wherever that place is. Nope, you don't want to add a second.
Was that right? Did I hit US?
Yeah. Just doing some important stuff, they say.
Mm-hmm.
Personal use, obviously. Don't want other people being able to access it.
No idea. Fingers crossed. Okay. Should change that. I guess that's set up per device.
Yeah. So you're gonna turn all of that shit off?
Is that what you do?
Yeah, it's spyware. Slows your computer down and doesn't do any benefit for you.
Nice.
And you accept.
I don't think I normally do this. I don't know that. Is this like between Windows devices?
No, you don't want those.
Yeah, it's between Windows devices. Definitely not doing that. I'm more of a Google guy.
I signed up for that and immediately regretted it.
No, I don't use OneDrive. I use Google Drive.
OneDrive's kind of fucking annoying, if I'm honest.
Not a fucking chance. I don't do that. I also use Google G Suite and all that shit. No, I don't like Cortana.
Nobody does.
Mm.
Hi.
Do you have Android or?
I use Android.
Yeah,
but
I have the Pixel, and Even though they probably steal my information just like everyone else, but it's okay.
I just bought a phone that was the best quality parts for the cheapest price. That's typically where my money goes. Don't really have brand loyalty. I won't buy Apple ever because it's too expensive.
Yeah.
But typically speaking, I just whatever is the best value for my money is what I'll buy. Even if it's like, because this isn't like a phone that's gonna like blow anyone out of the water or anything. But it was $100.
Wow.
And performance-wise, it was like within like 10% of a phone that costs like $600. So I'm just like, yeah, it makes sense. I'll do that.
Yeah.
Spend 6 times less to get 10% less performance. I try not to have brand loyalty unless like it's very warranted, because I tend to find out that the more brand loyal you are, the more likely you are to end up ripping yourself off.
Yeah.
Okay. You are
Fucking
in Windows.
Fucking Edge.
Right, so yeah, Edge is you ain't fooling me in an Explorer.
Armory Crate software. Alright, I'll take care of all like the Logitech and all that bullshit for these peripherals, but like what are you saying that I definitely need?
Alright, so well, Google Chrome.
Yeah, for sure.
Are you sure you don't want to use Edge? It's not bad, I promise.
Oh, the new logo, dude. Yeah, you like the new logo? No, I still hate it.
It's like, look, y'all, it's just Internet
What do you think
Explorer.
Armory Crate is?
Probably has something to do with your motherboard, if I had to guess. Jake down and so Armory Crate is something the Republic of Gamer Software. Yep, that's an Asus thing. It's your motherboard.
I don't know if that's necessary.
Nah.
I have to try to stay as lean as possible.
So if you ever wanted to get black and red cables for your modular power supply, you now have 20% off of that.
Wow.
CustomCableMod.com.
Well, they're all black, so I think that's fine. What do we need?
So you're going to want Ryzen Master. Utility, yep. Just download that. You can use it for overclocking. I actually just use it to monitor my temperatures and voltages. So you don't actually need to do anything with it for it to be useful. It's just a good way to make sure that you're not thermal thrown.
Okay. So that would be just for the CPU stuff, like the numbers on CPU.
Yeah, it's going to be fucking cool to see what this looks like on a 12-core processor. Fucking menu is going to be huge. Yeah, you need C++ for reasons, I guess.
That's pretty fast. Yes, enough.
And should be already installed. Now you're going to want to install. Oh, no, here we are. You agree? You have to scroll. It's one of those where you gotta scroll the way down. Install. Alright, now while it's installing, you want to get GeForce Experience for your graphics card. This will do all your driver updates and let you know if there's anything new and interesting on the
I think I
horizon.
have something to that variant on these other ones.
Yeah, probably.
I know they're both GeForce.
Yeah.
This thing has some other small guy in it.
Yeah.
Of course, I never knew any of that because, like, when you get a computer, when you get a computer like that, and you don't actually know what the fuck's going on, like you're like, why do I have all this shit?
Bloatware and stuff, yeah. It's so big they have a small version of it. Alright, so advanced view. Yeah, you want to do that. So click advanced view. Oh, it's good. It's getting maximized.
It's so big, they have a small view.
Look at all the cores.
What exactly does that mean?
So these are each of your individual cores, and this is your speed that they're running at. Ones that say sleep have nothing to do. So when you have 12 cores, they typically don't really have much else to do. So you're sitting at around 60. It's fluctuating pretty rapidly, but I didn't see it go above 75C, so you're fine. It's not under load or stress or anything yet, but what you can do is,
I mean, it's pretty hot here. It's normally not this hot here. So.
if you do have a way to lower your ambient temperatures, it will drop. See, now that it's done like turboing up for no reason, it's sitting at 44 consistent. It's looking like it's staying at about 44. That's fine. And installer, agree and install.
GeForce.
It's gonna kick up again a little bit just because you're installing something. At the 52.
That's pretty cool. Does it give you like an average temperature anywhere? Like over a period of time, just to see if like you're normally.
Yeah, somewhere in here. This is a much bigger interface than what I deal with on mine.
Do we need to count? It's weird though. I don't know if I have it count the other thing. I'll
You-
probably make one. Let me see if I can get without it.
I guess you do.
Okay.
So you can sign in with your Google.
Yeah, let's see what it is. I don't actually know what it does.
You just sign in through Google and then it makes the account for you. If Google is your ecosystem, I would say just stick with Google.
Yeah.
Certainly don't give Facebook any more information than you need.
Yeah. No. Fuck you.
Login completed, your account is made. And you can just kind of go into GeForce Experience, fill out the little bit of stuff there.
Is this like an actual name?
It's a display name. It's taken.
You bitch. You bitch. Is it like a username though, do you think? Like
Yeah,
no
yeah.
spaces?
It's definitely one of those.
No, I don't know that shit. I guess I do that. Do you think it's like an actual name, or it's got to be like a username?
Yeah,
right?
it's a username.
Okay. I don't actually know. Let's do this. Maybe is that taken?
Nope,
That's good.
it's good.
That's my go-to.
And you're not a robot, obviously. Just building one. Recommended settings is probably the best way to go.
Click on this guy.
Yeah. Technical settings. Yeah, fix bugs by submitting crash reports should they occur. Makes sense.
Okay.
And you'll be email verification pending. Just it's I guess you gotta go to your email, check to see if they sent it. All of the stuff to protect your personal information. At least it's honorable. You also have these nice motherboard stickers. If you wanted to put these somewhere on your PC, just a big emblem that doesn't match the color scheme. Oh come on, y'all.
I guess that's good.
Skip. You don't need a tour. So this is all that matters. You just go and click drivers, and you download. Got it. It will download the most recent driver for your graphics card.
Lit.
And it'll do all the installation stuff on its own too. This is all just the basic software stuff to make sure that everything runs appropriately. That being said, your temperatures will go up when you put your side panels and such back on. Something to keep in mind. So if you do have an AC unit, I'd recommend using it for the room.
What was I gonna say? Can't remember. Shit. Oh, would you so DisplayPort then? You think for that screen?
Yeah, probably. I would imagine DisplayPort's the way to go.
Okay.
If it doesn't work, HDMI is probably fine. I don't think that the significance between the two is really gonna come up too often for you. And once this is downloading, I would say, just in case, for temperature reasons, download MSI Afterburner. It's it monitors temperatures for your GPU. And I think that's it for like all monitoring software for your hardware. In the event that like something goes wrong, something comes up, you'll be able to troubleshoot with me or other people. Yep, Alan. If you have that information, it'll be easier to like by process of elimination figure out what the situation is. Sometimes it's honestly just as simple as something overheated. Yeah. One second. So it's preparing the package and it will attempt to install. You'll see the screen go black for a couple of seconds and then come back on whenever it's probably about halfway through installing. So express installation because you want that shit to go fast. Advertisement.
Welcome to Night City. Oh man.
Eventually. And the game stuff's getting delayed.
Then.
So this is pretty much the end of the road here.
Thank you, Dennis.
Graphics driver. So here is the part. It's gonna install it at some point. You're gonna get the screen flicker, but you know. Cool beans, cuz.
Oh, any other questions? Let's see here.
Good to unplug the boot.
Yeah, that can come out.
On the floor.
There's the screen flicker.
Nice.
And done. So now your GPU drivers are fully up to date. And that's done. So MSI Afterburner on the setup. Very small application. Like I said, lets you possibly overclock. You likely won't be, but also gives you active live temperature feed of your GPU, let you know how that thing's kind of going along. Like I said, this is all for troubleshooting if anything were to occur. So these are just important for you to have. You won't always
keeps a log of everything.
While it's open, yeah. It's mostly like if you have a crash, you reboot your system and you pull up Ryzen Master, pull up MSI, make sure that it's not like temperature related or if like your clock speeds are fluctuating heavily.
Yeah.
They'll tell you when something's not quite right.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, I want it in Espanol.
Oh, it's this thing.
Yes. That is what allows you to overclock all of your other stuff.
Gotcha.
Or, you know, underclock, whatever. It lets you do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Give you a nice little warning label. It's just like, are you sure you want to do this? And DirectX stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Every DirectX ever, it seems. That good. We only have 10 years of DirectX updates. Installing components, searching DirectX runtime components, and updating as necessary. It can take a few minutes. It looks like it's kind of chugging along though. Alright. That looks like we're. I even have the bar if you're just gonna keep going. There you go. Finish.
What the fuck? Oh, I think it's because I hit the readme thing. Okay. You don't need to see the readme.
So MSI will pop up.
Oh, what the hell is that?
So the GPU is running at 33C, very comfortable at 1650 megahertz. Yeah, alright. GPU is running at about expected temperatures. Like I said, just keep an eye on it. Make sure that it doesn't ever kick up, or if you start having graphical glitches, make sure that it's not overheating. But it looks good. You just minimize Afterburner, it'll always be running. So if you start experiencing graphical related issues, you just taskbar, pull it up. It's a little jet plane.
Lit.
So, yeah, alright, I think that's everything. That is all of the small software things that are important for performance for you. And
I'm not
that's
seeing a thing, dude.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm not seeing a.
Yeah,
line.
alright, so hold on.
Hmm.
How do we.
How do we check that?
Just type in Windows activation, see if that, like. See if when. There you go.
Wow.
Is activated. It worked, alright.
Thanks, dude. Lit.
Alright.
That is awesome. Pro too. Alright, you saved me $150. I appreciate that.
No problem. Hey,
Good
value.
Good stuff.
Alright, so hey, that's everything. That's all the important stuff. Everything from here on out is
Appreciate it,
just
brother.
small things I'm sure you can handle.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Alright, dudes, gals, everyone. Appreciate you jumping on the stream. I'm going to put this back over here for a second so I can get out of this.
That nice shutdown.
Shut down on it. Let's see here. Alrighty, well, thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Talk to you later.